Brynne Taggart dealt with all kinds of people with a variety of skills. She preferred working with the professionals who had the right combination of skill and discretion. Operator 214 was one of those electronic cowboys that Brynne knew she could turn to with a variety of decking jobs. The Dallas-based dwarf was very skilled, enough so that she could reach across the continent in several borders just to get the job done. Meetings with the paranoid dwarf almost always had to be virtual, but fortunately, Operator knew that Brynne wasn't that comfortable in the VR and made a point of keeping the pleasantries short before getting down to business. Look, I want to know what happened to your friend, this Lyle Green, as much as you. It is what you're paying me for. But this Derek Pounds that you say the trail leads to, he has a lot of connections. He is a fixer, after all. Seriously, there are so many neo-anarchist, freelance security agents, and other members of the shadow community that are responding to his job posts. I have a hard time keeping track of all of them. I mean, yeah, some of them might be the same person using multiple names, but even if he's responding to his own post with a response-o-mat writing program or whatever, there's still some real folks there, and from my research, some real dangerous runners that respond. My point is, he's popular, and any force used against him would draw more heat than any sane person would want to draw. Operator 214's Texan draw was amusing to Brynne Taggart, probably because it wasn't the typical Cass accent. Then, I guess, I will just have to hire some deniable assets and make sure that they know how to keep the kids' gloves on at all times, or that they may not just miss a payday, they may also wind up at the bottom of the sound. Well, good luck finding some brain-fried dreckheads that'll be able to pull that off with the subtlety required. I think I know the right dreckheads. I just need to figure out what kinds of alternative influence I can bring to bear to convince them to do these things. Operator 214's pierced eyebrows went up. Alternative? What do you have that you're willing to part with so that you can find out what happened? I mean, Nuyen, gear, pay data, those are all the kinds of things that your fixers can handle on the regular. What do you have that any runner would want more than something Nuyen can buy? Favors. Ew, can I get on all this? Nope. I have more than enough work to keep you tracking down other leads. Alright, what do you have for me? Well, for starters, there's a former Mork sniper out of Chicago whose MO and profile matches up with what we know from the dust-up where Green was last seen. I just don't know if Glass was working for or against. Scene 1. First you meet Mrs. Johnson. Your comlink gives you a chirp just as you're slurping down the last of a watery cup of Make-It soy noodles from the nearby Stuffer Shack. An incoming video file, it looks like. You pull it up hoping that it's a job offer. A Nuyen infusion would certainly help improve your lunch option. The AR opens to an image of a cheerful-looking, red-headed human woman. Oi, chummer! I'm looking to put together a team on short notice and heard from a mutual friend that you might be looking for work. The message flashes to an attached map, and then back to the redhead. Meet me here in 1 hour if you're interested, and then the file cuts out before you even have a chance to respond. Looks like better lunch options are back on the menu. So we're gonna start here, and we're gonna go around the table, and I'm gonna let everybody introduce themselves and their characters. We will start with Atomic Jester. I don't know if I've put him on the spot yet in these games, but I'm going to now.
I'm pretty sure you have at least once. My character is a mage, set up very much for more of kind of a support thing as far as the magic goes. I do not do summoning. I'm trying to focus on alchemy, but I can do normal sorcery when I need to. Combat-wise, I'm intending on focusing on small unit tactics to basically help us get edge during combat. So that's going to be my attempted focus. Other than that, male, 23, 5'10". He wears kind of like a Jack Skellington vibe type outfit. He also has tattoos and other colorings and markings in his clothing that is pretty obvious that he hangs with the Halloweeners. He's also got a dog.
He is a wonderful little hellhound. Boof boof. So it looks like you just got that video file, and the map file shows that your Johnson is waiting for you at a place called Mort's Bar. Did you want to head down there?
I absolutely do.
Okay, then we're gonna float on over to our next person. Ace and Viper could not make it tonight, so we're gonna go ahead and move on over to Polymath. Polymath, tell me a little bit about your character.
So Polymath is a rigger, a little bit socially awkward, definitely a little bit weapon skilled as well. Her kind of specializations really fall into both driving around, running the various drones that she owns, not to mention being pretty good with a gun. Again, she's a bit of socially awkward, a bit of a gun enthusiast, tends to talk about guns to anyone who's willing to, and will immediately be your friend if she sees you even once pull off a really great shot. She's a little overly formal, still fairly new to the shadow running scene, so she hasn't quite picked up on, hey, maybe you should be a little bit more subtle.
Perfect. And you also received that video file from a Johnson asking you to meet her down at Mort's bar. Are you interested in that?
Well, absolutely.
We'll assume you head on down there as well. And next on up, we're going to float over to Harebuck. Harebuck, can you tell me a little bit about your character?
Absolutely. Harebuck is a Surge Jackalope face from the Cass, and specifically the Okefenokee Swamp in Georgia. He is 6'4", has big old antlers, big old ears. He's a big old dude, but real skinny like. He's spent the last few missions coming up with outrageous plans such as, hey, Street Sam, come and punch me and make it look like a robbery.
Nice call back to Mission 01. You got a contact out of that, I believe, by letting yourself be punched. So it looks like you also received a video file from a Miss Johnson looking to meet you at Mort's bar. Are you interested in heading down there?
You'll hear.
Alright, you load on up. Last but certainly not least, our brand new player of Firebolt. I wanted to do you last because I don't want you to feel like you're put on the spot. But do you feel like you can give me a little bit of a description of your character that you're playing today?
Well, from what I've gathered so far, at least since this is a pre-made, I haven't exactly made it myself, but he's a pretty big guy, kind of paranoid due to some effects in the past. I had to translate his height because it's in meters, but yeah, he's 8'2".
Nice.
Damn.
And like 600 something pounds, so he's massive, to say the least. But yeah, seems like part of his past led to him having some issues with certain aspects of his life, including some paranoid tendencies, aka scorched.
Okay. Perfect.
That's the one thing I managed to keep in mind.
No worries. Well, the good thing about sample characters is you can flavor them kind of however you want. They're left a little bit vague, so you can insert upon them however you feel most comfortable doing.
Yeah.
So feel free to get a little wild however you'd like to. But you do receive that video file from Mrs. Johnson looking to meet you down at Mort's bar. Are you interested in following up on that?
Well, you see, that's why I already took out some dice, because Scorch says for interactions I have to do checks and such.
With some big old magic booms.
Yeah, he's as slim as one of those combat mage. I forgot to say that.
Perfect.
But yeah, Scorched allowed me to choose one of the aspects I wanted to have for the neurological issues, and I chose paranoia because that's easier for me to play out.
Sure. So you're rolling a check to see how paranoid you're feeling about this mission.
Yeah, which it says social, but since I don't see a social attribute or a skill, it says charisma -1, so that's 3, I'm guessing.
Yes, so that would be 3d6. 2 hits. So, despite your creeping paranoia, you recognize that you do need to eat. And this is exactly what you became a Shadowrunner for.
Indeed. So I'll go and follow the message and head towards that bar.
Perfect. So it looks like everybody is loading up and heading down towards Mort's bar. Mort's bar was brand new a couple of decades ago. As you pull up, you can tell that the synth leather-covered booths have been redone more times than the UCAS has elected corporate lapdogs. While the bar is so old and dusty, you can barely tell it's made out of Densi-plat. At this time of day, there's only a handful of elderly hanging around, sipping their beers and mostly communicating with grunts. The bartender is a dwarf minding her own business, and as you enter, she nods at you to the far. If only I could talk. She nods you over to the far corner. There you see a young redhead in subtle armor clothing waving at you. As you sit down, the lady encourages you with emotion to order a drink and get to know each other. This is your first chance for your characters to introduce themselves not to me as the GM, but to each other. So once more, we'll go around the table, and I'm going to ask you how your character introduces themselves. We are going to start once more with Jester and go clockwise.
Would the bar be dog friendly?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Would the bar be dog friendly?
I imagine so. If you want to bring your hellhound with you, I'll allow it.
Alright, so I walk in the bar. I got a big old Newfoundland, long black hair. Very obviously an awakened critter of some kind, because down the snout it's got 2 rows of eyes. Like 3 going down. In my mind, I'm kind of thinking a little bit like the Hellsing anime. Very well behaved and all that jazz. I talking to Okado a bit. Walk in, go back to the seat. Wearing kind of a slightly tattered, well-worn kind of suit of sorts, but it's black and white pinstripe down the way, and then we've got some like visible tattoos along my neck.
Perfect. And do you say anything to the rest of the group as you sit down?
I just smile real wide, pleased to meet all of you, and I sit down.
All right, and we'll move on over. You just saw Yuri. You just saw Jester come on with their big old hellhound and say they were pleased to see you. You two recognize each other because you ran with each other in a mission 1 to 2 weeks ago, approximately. How would you like to settle into the group?
Polymath kind of settles in a little bit more awkwardly. The familiarity between the two of them actually makes her more uncomfortable, as opposed to less comfortable, as opposed to more comfortable. That weird sense of, oh no, they remember all the awkward things I did. She just doesn't even really manage up a word, just kind of a very awkward way, like jilted, stilted wave of sorts. This very, oh, okay. Hi. But doesn't actually say any words, just kind of a lot of really awkward motions. As she's coming in, she's smoking a Nico, like some sort of Nico stick of some sort. Presumably this bar probably allows it, looking how trashy it is.
Yeah, they don't say anything to you about your Nick stick. Kind
of settles in, and if she sees any discomfort, she puts it out, but smokes it if no one seems to be saying anything.
Perfect. We are gonna float on over. Harebuck, you know you're next. You're the one that's gonna be standing out the most, other than our big troll fella. Let me know how you join in with the group.
All right. Harebuck approaches the table. He is dressed quite dapper, as can be seen from various art of him. His little double vest arrangement. Adjusts his collar as he approaches, smiling to everybody at the table, saying, "Good evening. I believe I have an invitation to this here meeting. My name is Harebuck, and it is an absolute pleasure to meet all y'all's acquaintance.
Perfect. And Harebuck, you recognize two of the folks at the table. You've run with Jester and Polymath before, so it's mostly a familiar group here. And that's where we come into our first a new person to the table. The only one that y'all three don't recognize, and of course you don't recognize any of the other three. Slim, let me know how you'd like to introduce yourself to the group as you come on in.
Well, pretty much gonna come in and accept that offer of the drink, grabbing whatever strong liquor they have, anything to help soothe the situation. Can't tell by the picture, but I'm gonna say he's in a trench coat just because I love trench coats.
It's perfect.
So adjusting his coat, holding his drink, he'll head over to the table that he sees, and at least the group he thinks are those he's running with. And just approaching, he waves quietly, taking a seat, not really sure how to introduce himself to people he's never quite met before.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Alright, so everybody is settled down and getting to know each other. Exactly what we want to see. So as each of you settle down, and once you're done introducing yourselves to each other, Mrs. Johnson speaks up once more. Thanks for coming here to meet with me. I'm looking for a team to do some simple espionage. Specifically, I need you to work for another fixer while keeping an eye out for me. He'll pay you for what you do for him, and I'll pay you an additional $2,500 for whatever info that you can pass me. I can even offer you some extra value if you want me to arrange gear instead of Nuyen as your payment, but we can talk about that once your job is done.
Did she introduce her a name, or did I just miss it?
She did not give you her name, but I believe some of you will recognize her. The job offer has Brynne's name on it. So it's Brynne Taggart from 2081-01. But for the rest of y'all who hadn't met her, namely,
So we would have met her at the first mission?
Yes.
My
Yeah.
brain kind of shorted out for that.
There's no problem. I'm gonna talk, and chat's making me blush with all the compliments. It is Brynne Taggart that's offering you the mission.
Well, I don't see anything disagreeable with that idea. What about the rest of you?
Well, I need to manage to pay for my living.
So it sounds like you're going to respond in the affirmative that you're interested in her job.
Yes.
Yep.
So everybody gives the affirmative. Excellent. The fixer I need you to accept the job from is a fella named Derek Pounds. You won't have to worry about contacting him. I know he's about to contact you. His original choices had to skip town, we'll say, due to problems with the store, and you're the best available for a rush job that he's facing now. So with the help of a little birdie, there's no doubt in my mind he'll be trying to snatch you up within minutes of him finding out he needs a new team. I know that this job will entail meeting with several of his associates, which gives you a golden opportunity to figure out what he's been up to. I know he wants to have some items delivered, and I'm interested in what he'll make you deliver, what the items are really for, who he's dealing with, and why. Perhaps whoever he sends you to will let something slip if you smooth talk them. And if you're adventurous, maybe hack or tell him around town to find out who else he's meeting with. You can feel free to give me a call at any time during this mission if you have questions. I've prepared an escrow account for your payments, so once you're done, I'll just wire you the money, chummers.
Would you mind going down that list again of what you want to know about the goods?
Essentially, I just want to know what the goods are and what they might really be for. So, in this case, I mean, I can't really tell you what I want to know because I'm not sure what I want to know yet, but feel free to tinker with them or talk to the people you're delivering them to. I have a feeling that whatever he asks you to deliver is not going to be what it appears to be.
What did you say the name of that fixer was?
His name is Derek Pounds. Now, we are going to take a moment to pause here because we do have some new players at the table. We kind of went a little bit beyond it, but typically we do enter a negotiation phase where you can negotiate for pay. That is simple. Typically at missions tables, how we do that is if the team wants to negotiate, one player will take the lead and the other players will be able to assist if they so desire. Was anybody interested in negotiating for pay or for anything else?
I shift over to Harebuck.
Sorry, what was that, you?
I was going to say, did we actually... I heard we could possibly trade for gear instead of actual Nuyen, but I don't think we actually got a number.
Yes, she did say that. Let me pull that back. I believe it was 2,500, but let me check my notes. Take a shot. She's looking to pay you 2,500 each. And of course, you'll be paid whatever Mr. Pounds pays you on top.
I'm not the face, but I'm actually pretty okay. I'm actually pretty okay with that pay personally.
That pay's not even enough.
Perhaps you might elaborate on what quality and types of gear you are offering, man.
She kind of shifts a bit. She tilts her head from one side to the other. If it comes to gear, that's something we'll have to negotiate in more detail after the mission is done. But I can assure you that the gear I get you would be beyond the value of whatever pay we negotiate here at the table today.
My eyes kind of light up to that.
I'm gonna need more than that to manage to even make it through a month. You're gonna need a better pay than that if you want a good job done.
Okay, what is... Okay, so Slim, go ahead and give me a social roll. Now you are lacking the influence skill, so give me a charisma -1.
Is it alright if I assist?
I'll go ahead and treat Slims as an assistant to you, actually, because you are a little bit more equipped to this. So if you want to also roll the negotiation, add 1 dice to your roll from Slim's assistance.
Sounds good.
Oh. For the design of this mission, you're not great at creating maps, so this one is definitely more Theater of the Mind. Or ones you walk on are definitely going to go for Theater of the Mind. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I like Theater of the Mind games, alright. I didn't mean to be complaining about it none. I think it's great to have them now and then. Check out Derek Pounds and the Shadowrunner Unions group. I'll do that. Always interested in absorbing lore.
Feel free to share what you find. I'd be curious too.
5, 6, 7, 8 hits. Okay. Take a look.
God damn, that's actually a really good roll.
Yes, yeah, that's an amazing roll. Do you happen to also? You wouldn't happen to know what your social score is from your gear, would you? More jacket, an auctioneer. Don't know.
If he's wearing the
+1,
auctioneer
I believe.
outfit, the armored jacket would take away if he was wearing it, I think.
I'm wearing auctioneer, and I believe it's a social is +1.
Okay. Perfect then. Okay, so okay, so you go back and forth with Miss Brynne for a while. Now you've negotiated with this particular Johnson once before, and last time it really felt like she had the upper hand. Not so much this time. Verbal sparring is a little bit like combat, and you don't often lose to the same opponent twice. As you go back and forth over time, she eventually has to concede that you've worked with her before and you've gotten great results previously. So, gives a long sigh and says, alright, I can go up another 500 nuyen. That's everything I have for this. That's 3,000 nuyen each.
Let's not forget, Slim, that this is on top of the pay that we can squeeze out of Pounds Boy.
You're right. I'm sure we'll make enough for a month then.
Perfect. And it seems that we have a deal, 3,000 nuyen each for what information you can bring me. Now, if you'll excuse me, chummers, I hope you have a nice day, and I'll be seeing you later. She throws you a little bit of a wink. She stands up and she excuses herself, leaving all of you alone at the bar. Now it looks like all you need to do is wait until you get a call from Mr. Pons. So you have free time if anybody would like to do any legwork or investigation. For new players at the table, legwork in Shadowrun is essentially a phase in which you might want to reach out and call some contacts or do a matrix search or see what you can learn about any piece of information you gain. Now, you didn't get a lot of information here, but there's still things you can look into if you so want.
I'm still a bit confused on what Renraku Sensei is, because that's what's written under my matrix.
That's your comlink, so that's basically, it's made by the Renraki, it's called the Sensei. So it's like your Nokia phone or whatever.
It's a very nice
Right.
cell phone. Or it's about a mid-range cell phone. And looking at your sheet here, you do have quite a few contacts. You've got a Crimson Crush gang leader, a Mafia enforcer, a Wage mage, and a Talismonger. So if anybody would like to reach out to a contact, let me know. If anybody would like to do a matrix search, that is an extended check of your electronics plus intuition.
I'm gonna reach out to my Halloweener contact. I'm curious to see if Derek Pounds' name has come across his mind.
Okay. What is the connection and loyalty of your Halloweener contact?
Connection is 2. Loyalty is also 2. The dude's name is Carnival. That's the street
Carnival.
name.
And what's your relationship with Carnival?
I used to be I used to run with him a lot. So when I was in the Halloweeners, I was part of his subset group.
Perfect. Alright, so you reach out to Carnival, and he answers the phone in the snap. He's like, Jester, have you gotten tired of that Shadowrunner Drek yet? You coming back yet, boy?
Not just yet. I need to know if a certain name has come across your ears. Do you know anything about a Derek Pounds?
Derek Pounds, let me think. And if you give me just a moment, I am going to roll his connection to see if he does know anything about a Derek Pound. He knows a surprising amount of Derek Pounds, actually. Oh, let me see. Well, what I can tell you about this Mr. Pounds is that he's some low-level fixer. A couple of my boys have dealt with him a time or two, but he's starting to get to where he thinks he's a little bit too good for us. He's upping his game. Not exactly a slamming success, but he's trying to make some moves. Last I heard, he's been trying to hang out with some bigwigs in the shadows. Been whispering sweet nothing in his ears, trying to get him to act above his game.
Sounds like someone's getting too big for their own britches.
That's the name of the game.
All right. Any specifics as to who he might be trying to woo lately?
I'm afraid that's not something I would know.
All right.
You said he was a loyalty 4.
2.
Oh.
My charisma's only a 2, so I was only able to do a 2/2.
Okay, so he's a loyalty 2. But now, I gave you a little something, Fred. But you know how it is. You gotta give me a little something.
As it goes, what you need?
Yeah, I'm thinking about going to that new soy calf place down the street. I heard they're outside of Casey's. I heard the bouncer likes it a lot. I'm gonna go head there and schmooze. I heard their lattes are about 20 million.
Tell you what, I'll give you enough to be able to go a few rounds. Besides, it's been a while since I've paid my dues. I'll wire him like 200 million.
Trevor. Perfect. Tell you what, you give me a call next time you need anything. I'm gonna go get I'm gonna go get some caffeine, and he hangs up on you.
Is there a difference between getting wasted and getting caffeine, though?
Okay. So, you finish up with Derek Pounds. Now, right quick, is there anything anyone else wanted to do while Jester was on the phone?
We have our connection to Kingston from last game, don't we?
Connection to, whomst? Sorry.
Kingston,
yes.
Shadowrun.
You do have Kingston, so you could reach out to him if you wanted to.
I was considering actually using some of that favor we picked up to kind of see if he's familiar with any of the runs that Derek's been doing.
Oh, sure. So you're gonna give Kingston a call on your comm link? You pull that up here. So you reach out to Kingston, and he answers. He sounds a little bit groggy still, but a lot better than the last time you talked to him, given the last time you talked to him, he was halfway dead and bleeding out in the back of your van. So he sounds a lot better. It's like, you from the team that got my ass out of that dock wagon hospital. How can I help you?
Yeah, I've got picking up a run here. Just trying to get a little bit of information. Figured we helped you out of a bit of a jam there. You might be able to help us out of a little bit of a jam. Looking up for some information about a Derek Pounds. Basically largely trying to see what kind of runs he's been asking people for. If you had any contacts with him or any of your other chummer buds.
Derek Pounds. Well, I can tell you he's been reaching out to a lot of runners lately. I know he's been talking with a couple of mutual acquaintances of mine, trying to figure out how to make his name big. How to get up, I'd say up in the spotlights, but I guess that would be antithetical to Shadowrunning. But I know he's been hanging out with much significantly more experienced figures in the shadows. So
Any sort of ideas of the runs he's been asking for?
Nothing concrete. But I'll see if I can keep my ears out for you.
That'd be nice.
Sounds good. And of course, he doesn't ask you for it because he owed you a favor anyway. So he's just like, yeah, glad to help.
Cool.
I guess I'll try something. I'm not too sure what any of these contacts mean, though.
No problem. Well, I'll let you know for the moment, just a little bit of meta that y'all kind of you'll kind of dug up most of the information you can get. So, just to keep y'all from having to call and getting repeats over and over. A little bit of meta knowledge there. Instead, what we will do is I will let y'all. Or actually, before I do anything, does anybody have any shopping or any expenditures they want to do, or do we just want to hop into the next thing?
I'm good.
Okay. So you all wait patiently for a couple of hours, and at about 7:30, you finally receive the message you were predicted. When you open it, all it reads is, "In need of a skilled team, and you came highly recommended. I have an urgent job for you. Please meet me for details." And attached are coordinates that belong to the back entrance of a bookstore in downtown, just 2 blocks from the Big Rhino. Assuming you're interested in the job, of course, you all arrive at the bookstore and take that back door to the storeroom. In the storeroom is a single table where a man sits waiting to meet with you, wearing a nervous grin. "Welcome, welcome. So you're the runners my friends recommended, eh? I'm glad you're here. I'm a little bit embarrassed. I fear the jobs I have for you are rather simple. Please don't be offended by the difficulty. I'll still make it worth your while. I'm happy to pay. I just need to make 3 deliveries for me tonight. I need you to make 3 deliveries for me tonight. A lighter, a repaired car, and some hardware that I need installed. And that'll come with instructions. It'll be easy. None of these items are hot, and they won't explode. They won't infect anyone. You don't have to worry about the store. As long as you get the task completed by 2 a.m., I can offer you about $500,000 each. So 500 million for each. I can offer you $500,000 each for the item, same for the car, and $1.50 for the hardware. So 500 for the car, 500 for the delivery, and 1,500 for the installation. About 2,500 total.
What exactly do you need us to deliver a lighter for? Exactly.
Oh, well, you know, it's sentimental. It's an interesting piece. Very simple, totally legal delivery. Don't even have to worry about it, Shummer. I would do it myself actually, but I have a fairly important meeting, so I can't do it myself.
Why not just use a courier service? Why reach out to people who are known to be able to handle themselves?
Well, you know, it's a delivery for a friend. It's important to me that it sees done. Plus, that's 500 million still. Still happy to pay you for it.
Just out of character to make sure I got everything right. So it's an item, a lighter, a repaired car, and then some hardware.
Yeah. So he wants you to deliver a lighter, a car, and then to install some electronics that will come with instructions.
Should we know anything about the car itself? Old age.
Nah, it's nothing you'd have to worry about. It's a bit of an old car, but it's we'll call it a gift for a friend. You don't have to worry about it now. Like I said, car's completely legal too.
Well,
Everything's
we want to make sure we get the right one.
Oh, no, yeah, absolutely. If you're interested in the job, I'll give you the details on the pickup. You won't be able to miss it.
Would you mind providing a little bit more information about this hardware installation, more specifically as to what is being installed into or where?
Well, first I want to make sure that y'all are interested in doing the job before I give you any more details. I believe that's pretty standard affair for a...
No, that's legit. Getting ahead of myself. I'll look to the rest of the group.
I'll just give him a little nod to pretty much say, like, I got nothing else to add.
Polymath gives a little bit of a nodding shrug.
Perfect. All right. So it seems that everybody... Oh, sorry, were you saying something, Allegory?
Harebuck is actually not speaking, unusually for him. So he's just standing there with his sitting there, hands on the table, folded in front of him, and just smiling.
Is it because the Johnson's name is Pounds?
Yes.
Because I'm sure the people watching on in the aside chat we have, everybody's been making fun of Derek Pounds' name. I do apologize to Mr. Pounds if you're watching. I promise this is not the kind of business we should.
I'm definitely gonna look at Harebuck very, very confused. I don't think it's the most silent I've ever known him to be.
Is this like Spider-Man where it's scary when he's quiet?
Do I have to make Harebuck roll willpower to not laugh at the Johnson, or?
Sounds like
You can.
Sounds like something you should do. That requires a lot of willpower.
Or just so you can keep your snicker under your breath. Harebuck is a professional, after all. So when it seems like everybody is interested in accepting the deal, Mr. Pounds responds, "Alright, so I promised to get these deliveries done before 2 a.m. tonight. Gives you a little bit under 6 hours. The first item, like I mentioned, is his antique lighter. It's a gift for a friend of mine. He's visiting Underworld 93 tonight, so be there between 9 p.m. and 1 a.m. I got some passes you can use to get in, so you shouldn't have too much trouble." And the moment he says that, he floats over a data file with a picture of a lizard man? A thickly scaled frill painted like a multicolored mohawk, and wearing a punk leather vest. At least you don't have to worry about mistaking him for someone else. And then he continues, "The second delivery is a car that you need to pick up from a mechanic over in Auburn and deliver it to a parking lot out in the Tacoma docks. A friend accidentally scratched it, so we're having it repaired and returned without his boss finding out. As for the final job, I have some ancient hardware that we had fixed, blown a fuse or something. The thing is about as much of a dinosaur relic as its owner. Anyway, his business, Hartman Tailoring, depends on its replacement. It must be installed tonight so he can be able to open shop without problems tomorrow. Just be subtle about it. He lacks the required licenses for this kind of hardware, but this is a legal technicality. Once you pick up the device and the proper tools at Hardware Connoisseur Central in Tacoma. Once all 3 deliveries are done and conform to me, just pass me your coordinates and I'll send you over your cred stick. Now, if you'll excuse me, I do have a very busy schedule today. I'll float you over the coordinates you need."
Busy schedule of pounding.
Alright, so we got an ancient lighter. It has to be delivered to a lizard man at a club between 9 p.m. and 1 a.m. It's about 6 p.m. right now.
It's 7 p.m. right now, so you have 2 hours until the club opens.
Repaired car, we have to pick up from Auburn and deliver to Tacoma. Where are we currently located?
You are in a bookstore in downtown near University Street.
Okay, and then the electronics, we have to pick it up from somewhere. I didn't really catch the details on, but we have to get it to Hartman Tailoring, and I believe I caught that they're in Tacoma as well.
Yes, they are in Tacoma. You can pick up the you can pick up the equipment to do the repair from Hardware Connoisseur Central.
And where's that located?
It's also in Tacoma, so it's not a big drive.
And where's the club at?
The club is Underworld 93, which I believe, if memory serves, is downtown. You have plenty of time to get to each of the locations, assuming nothing goes wrong, of course.
What do you guys think? just any of you got an idea on an order of operation or possible split up?
With an almost kind of eerie suddenness, Polymath leaps forward to just be like, "I'll take care of the car."
You're taking the car?
Yes.
Do you want any support on that one, or are you good solo?
I mean, it doesn't sound like I'll need very much support, but if anyone wants to come along for fun, they're welcome to learn about some cars.
It never seems like you'll need support on a run, but they don't hire Shadowrunners for jaywalking.
So how many people we got here? We got 4? So if we do a split up 2 and 2, or we just all stick together, I'm just like, there's is out of character, is Mr. Pound still there, or did we basically transition to?
He's just gotten up. He's walking out of the room right now. So if you wanted to interact with him or follow him or anything like that, you still have the opportunity to.
I want to do a judge intentions roll on the things he's been telling us.
Okay, go ahead and roll me judge intentions. You get 2 edge for this as a bonus. Because you are, having met with Brynne, you know he's up to something. So you've already got that set.
I would like to support him in that, if I may.
Judge intentions, I don't believe you can support on. Is it?
Understood.
So your judge intentions is going to be
6
6.
dice plus. I'm trying to look up edge actions again. I'm more used to Phantom.
No worries. So for 2 edge, you can add 1 dice to any roll, or you can use an edge action. I don't think there are any edge actions that would be appropriate for judge intention, but you could add 1 dice if you want to.
I really should be using judge intentions more often. Wow.
You can also, after you roll, I believe for 2 edge, you can buy a 4 to a 5. Might be mistaken though.
Yeah, I believe 2 edge after roll is raise a die by 1.
You could either add 1 dice or you could turn a 4 to a 5 after you. Two hits. Okay. And did you want to buy one of those 4s to a 5? That would give you 3 hits total.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, just one moment. Yeah, you can tell that he is lying through his teeth about the purpose of each of the items, but you can't necessarily tell exactly what the items really are. The fortunate thing, however, is you do happen to have one of those 3 items in your possession naturally. You do have the lighter.
He said it was sentimentals, so maybe we can look at the lighter and figure out why exactly he says it's sentimental to him. Or to whoever.
Harebuck is inclined. Harebuck DNIs the team, basically Shadowrun style text messaging. That this man is full of shit. These things are. He's lied to us once. Well, he's shaded the truth once already, and he's absolutely lying about each and every one of the items. So we're going to need to do a lot of our own legwork. I don't think we're going to get very far trying to interrogate him right here. He might just call the job off. So
Yeah.
I believe we should let him go and start doing our own legwork and investigating these things for that extra info that Mr. Pounds wants us to dig up.
Hey, Slim,
Yeah.
would you be able to do me a favor? My mojo ain't so hot. Would you be able to take a look at that lighter and see if you can't figure out anything in the astral about it?
I'll give it a shot, I suppose.
Okay. So this is going to be an astral perception. You're going to roll your magic plus your astral, I believe is how this works. So that would be 8d6. While you do that, I need to check my notes.
Drink.
Drink.
Only one hit.
Okay. So, for astral perception, when you look at something through the astral, you're not really looking at that object. You're looking at the impression of that object on the living world, which is usually a reflection of its emotional place. When you look at a coffee cup, you're not seeing a coffee cup, you're seeing that it's somebody's favorite coffee cup. And so you peer down into this lighter through the astral plane to see what lingering emotion is left on this lighter. And to your own surprise, you don't see anything. If this was really such a sentimental lighter, you would think it would have left an impression on somebody. There's nothing here. It
There
doesn't.
ain't nothing on this lighter. Nothing in the astral, nothing on it.
What are the physical markings on the lighter? Is there any symbology?
So, if anybody wants to inspect the lighter, there are a couple of ways you can do it. You can do because you've already done the astral check. You could, if you wanted to, do a regular inspection. That's your perception plus intuition. You could also attempt to make an electronics or engineering check to pull the lighter apart and take a deep look at it. Anything like that any of y'all wanted.
I'll do the perception intuition because I'm incompetent with electronics.
I've actually Polymath kind of offers her hand towards it. I've got a couple enhancements to my eyes. It might be a bit easier for me.
Polymath. Well,
Sounds
first,
perfect.
Firebolt. Do you hand the lighter on over to Polymath to look at?
If you say you can get more than me, go ahead and give it a shot. And I'll just pass the lighter.
Now, would you like to do your perception or your electronics or your engineering? All three are options for the lighter.
All three. Which one's going to be the best? I've also got Polymath's got cyber eyes. She's got a number of enhancements to how she sees things too. So she'd pick up on any kind of subtleties in terms of any thermal kind of things or some subtle kind of thing, subtle divots and whatnot.
So she's got vision and hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, question about that. Because here in my gear it says I have monocle 2 and vision enhancement. What exactly is monocle?
It is a monocle that's got vision enhancement. I'll have to grab the rules for vision enhancement for you. But first, let me see. I think vision enhancement in 6E. Do you know what rating it is, Polymath?
What was that? Yes, I do. It is rating 5.
Vision enhancement rating 5. I don't. Sorry, if it was at 5E, I would know right off the bat, but I am still relatively new to 6E myself. Visual enhancements. Is it? Are the cyber eyes rating 5?
Yes.
Okay. So for visual enhancement, 275, you get. Vision enhancement, you get a +1 dice pool, so you can go ahead and add +1 to your dice pool, and I'll let you do that even if you do like electronics or engineering. It's kind of like a engineering perception check. if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's so that's gonna be then with that +1. That's gonna be a dice pool of 5, 9.
I get it, Rika. All right, roll me your 96.
Well, you're gonna have to for me.
Oh, I'm my brain. I completely forgot. It's just, it's like you're here with us. 1, 2, 3.
Are you sure you didn't drink before this?
Listen.
That's a yes.
Yeah, it is. That's not denying.
Okay, one moment. So with your engineering plus logic test, you pull it apart, and you find that there's a mechanism hidden inside the lighter that looks like a transmitter. You can see the transmitter isn't currently broadcasting. That's the most you can learn about the lighter.
She nods thoroughly and puts it back together again. Polymath then explains the transmitter to the rest of them. Yeah, there's obviously some sort of bug put into this thing. I'm guessing whoever it is that he's got this thing planned to go to is going to be someone he's trying to eavesdrop on.
Well, we don't know exactly who he's sending it to. Is it really a good idea to mess with that before we know both sides?
He's trying to bug whoever this lizard man dude is at the club. So we at least got some idea on that one.
Yeah. Well, I never agreed to bugging people unless it's necessary.
Well, all he said is we have to give him the lighter. We could
That
possibly.
is true.
Ain't nothing saying that it can't be just a case of the lighter.
So, to clarify, what have we found in the light?
Transmitter. But it's not turned on just yet, so it's not listening to us.
I thought when you said transmitter, it was like the thing you use to detonate bombs.
Well, you don't know exactly what kind of transmitter it is. It could be some kind of bomb detonator, or it could be a bug. All you know is it sends a signal, but currently it is offline.
No, okay. Would it be obvious if there was any listening devices on it or whatever, or is it just because in all honesty, just saying a transmitter sounds to me more like
That's a good question. I'll tell you what. Does anybody have a knowledge skill that would be related to this kind of does anybody just have an electronics knowledge skill or a tech knowledge thing like that?
I do not.
I don't know what wizarding does, but the other one are all pretty much self-explanatory.
Closest I have is parts manufacturers.
I think Polymath would probably know enough about it. Polymath, I'll give you a hint. You look at it and you see that there's not a microphone. It's just a transmitter, but without a way to pick up audio.
So it's clearly not a bug of any sort of kind. It's looking more likely to be some sort of thing that's supposed to create some sort of response due to a signal.
This might be the paranoid side of me, but when we get to that car, I say we check it for things that might go boom.
Oh, that was my plan. I know someone in auto mechanics. I was kind of going to see if I could slip by and have them take a subtle look at the car.
Holy crap, you're useful.
What riggers do. We're useful.
You're just full of knowledge. We'll need to check that car, so we better go to it fast before we are too late for the bar.
Yeah, it seems to me the car would be the next thing. Get it from Auburn, take it to Tacoma, try to figure out what this hardware thing is, and then come back to the club.
Seems like a good plan.
Okay, so you want to pick up the car for. Now, before any of y'all head out, you just want to drive straight there to the car? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any intention to do any kind of legwork on the interim.
Perfect. All right. So all of y'all pile up in your independent vehicles and you make a skedaddle. The coordinates you were given supposedly lead to a garage in Auburn that went out of business a couple of years ago. But as you pull up to the actual site, you find that the garage is still operating, just under the radar. As you pull in, you're greeted by a grumpy dwarf glaring as if you just poured oil instead of coolants into the radiator. You're a Pound's bunch, right? Your package is over there. Get in, call him, would you? As much as setting up this contraption was an amusing exercise, I want to know where fuck Pound's in nowadays. The fuck fix covered in it. Get it.
Polymath leans towards Harebuck. Is he talking English?
Yeah, I look at Harebuck and I'm like, could you translate that?
That's called drunk talk. There's not much translating we can do.
I'm not drunk, I just want you to get this and go.
Our esteemed mechanic here would like us to attend to moving this vehicle off of his property as soon as we may expeditiously do so. We will have a quick look-see around the goods, sir, and we will be on our way momentarily, I assure you. Just let us have a quick looky-loo around the vehicle before we get it moving. You know, proper safety inspection and all. And he gives his most charming smile.
Give me an influence plus charisma.
What plus charisma?
Influence plus charisma. There is an independent check for calming down the dwarf here, so I would describe what you did as calming him down. Or trying to, at least.
He's a dwarf, that explains the mannerism.
Okay, I've got 10 dice for that pool. I've got 2 dice for...
First impression thingy?
No, two dice for, balls. What the hell is it?
Dice for balls.
Yeah, those are small balls then.
Tailored pheromones.
Oh, yes.
Tailored pheromones and the auctioneer is another 1, so that's 13. And
you do.
I have first impression, so I get an edge.
Yes, you actually get 2 edge here because you also have a higher social rating than him.
Yeah.
Is this an imposed roll or
right.
a target number?
This is a target number.
I'm showing the pants off this guy.
Well, it's not saying much, the dwarf pants.
Hey, you don't know big packages come in small rewards. I mean...
I get the gist.
I said that completely wrong.
Listen, I understand.
I'm saying it doesn't take much to get something off when it's already halfway there.
Please! I'm gonna get demonetized.
We're not
Well,
on
I was just
YouTube.
referring to the fact that the guy's pants are lower to the ground.
Oh.
His waist it's not as long of a travel.
I
mean, I'm being perfectly
18
innocent.
plus stream.
I'm gonna scream. Harebuck, did you roll, or... Sorry.
Guys, I have to step away from the table for a bit. There's apparently something going on with my water supply. I'll be right back.
Okay, in that case, what we'll do is we will go ahead and take our first break.
It sounds like some sort of esoteric wizard curse.
What did I miss?
Roommate
It
interrupting
feels like it. It feels like
allegory, and it was for a dumbass reason.
The dumbass reason this week, Riri, because it's every week, Riri, as you tell them, right? Every week.
I felt
The
so...
dumbass reason this time was he left the hose on and drained our well water and then wondered why he had low water pressure.
I think you have a very smart one.
Anyway, I am back and I have iced tea.
Okay.
Hello everybody, my name's Muffin.
So, folks who are coming back and are getting ready, go ahead and flip your hold card over whenever you're ready to get back to it.
Oh shit, I'm like 5,000 miles away from the table.
Did you
Would you
write my
care
name
to
under?
flip
Sorry. Yeah. Oh,
Would you care to flip mine for me?
I already flipped yours. You're
What's
here
wrong? There's
instead.
nothing written under that.
What does it say? Oh, I get it. Oh, that's lewd. We're gonna get demonetized.
There's nothing there, see?
I'm gonna get demonetized by Twitch television. I.
If they demonetize you for this, then like I would not get money from any of my videos.
No, it's just a running joke. If we would be demonetized for this, we couldn't do our Wednesday streams at all. Harebuck, you were gonna roll, I believe, your 96 to
Wasn't
throw
it 13?
13. You were gonna throw a lot of dice at this man to calm him down.
Is he the nurse that's over there on the table?
What? Oh yeah, no, you blow it out of your. So you swap your pheromones over to the soothing scents.
Did you want to use any of your edge on that one? You had some in that roll, yeah.
He could technically. I'm not going to stop him, but I will say he's blown the check so far out of the water. He absolutely does not need to, unless he just wants to overkill this man.
Be careful with those pheromones.
You charm him into calming down. And he goes, yeah, okay. You could take your time to look at this fucking contraption. Just come on over and tell me if you need anything. I will be over there. And he goes to wherever there is.
Hey, Harebuck, would you mind
Yeah?
asking your friend over there what he was asked to do with this vehicle, or what he might know about it?
I was thinking just that thing. I'm gonna go keep him distracted and see if I can't get any info out of him while y'all inspect the vehicle for anything that this here transmitter might cause problems with, or any other problem.
I'll do my best to help out any way I can.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, we will. So it looks like that'll be mostly Harebuck and Polymath. So we will start with which one of you wants to go first? Let's ask Harebuck or Polymath. Which one do you would prefer to go?
Y'all can go ahead.
Oh, we would need the distraction first.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it might be a little suspicious if I start looking over the car.
Alright, I'll go and distract him. Smooth intro, buttering up him about the business and such. Yeah, Harebuck heads on over and is like, "If I may, sir, I do have a question. I noticed you called it a contraption. Have you any opinions about this here?" Harebuck affects a disdainful expression. Vehicle we've been asked to pick up.
Oh, yes. Man, the moment you ask, he kind of puffs up. He's got his chest out, and he just immediately looks proud of himself. He's like, "Oh yeah, I managed to rig this car with so many AR tabs. It's a work of art. It'll connect to that satellite link Pounds talked about, no problem. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was difficult. This car is a relic. The fact that it still uses metal is baffling, and it made this a real tricky job to perform. But thanks to my excellent work, the AR spam will trigger no problem. Soon as that contraption or whatever's fired up."
Forgot to unmute. I see. One wonders what the heck he was thinking wanting to put a satellite link in such an old vehicle.
My guess is the only way to get the the AR spam to activate on command, his kind of job. I imagine, you know how it is. He's just talking to you like he assumes that you already know.
Yeah. Mr. Pounds is nothing if not peculiar.
Now, Polymath, if you want to do your engineering check, assuming that you're able to mostly overhear this, I'm going to give you 2 edge, because it kind of tells you what you're looking for.
Yes, in fact, I'm already kind of, as a player, I'm already kind of have an idea of what's going on here.
Auto mechanics always have opinions. Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
Cool. In that case, could you? I would be rolling. That's gonna be an 8 for engineering.
Okay. And would you like to use the 2 edge on adding another dice?
Let's do that. Yeah.
Is there anything? Is there like help I can give with this to give him more dice?
You could do an assist. You don't have engineering, but you could just roll your logic -1, and any successes you get will add to her dice pool. So in this case, roll 46. All right, 2 more dice for her dice pool.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I just stole one of Harebuck's dice. Don't tell him. Let me just roll 1, 2, 3. So close.
Or been 10. Well, wait,
Are you?
How many got rolled? Okay, cool.
10. You succeeded. I was just. You needed one more 1 to get a glitch, and unfortunately, I just couldn't make that happen.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Listen. All right. So
Glitches are fun, but also screw you.
I was really excited because what I had in mind, if you had gotten, was to have you set off the car alarm. But I digress. You have no problem digging through the car as Mr. Lowry, as Harebuck has learned the mechanic's name to be, goes on and on about how amazing of a job he did in putting in all those AR broadcasters. And since you know that you're looking for an AR broadcaster and a satellite uplink, you eventually put it all together. This is, one of y'all mentioned it earlier and you're really close. It is a sort of bomb, but it's not a literal bomb. Once this bomb goes off, it'll release augmented reality spam to a just absolute obnoxious degree.
So it's spam mail, but for the future.
It's spam mail, and then I'm guessing the intent is that it spams it so that the driver crashes.
Maybe.
That's a yes.
What a clever bomb.
Did you find anything down there? Or up there? I don't know where you are.
Polymath, well, bad time to grab a chip. Polymath kind of nods as the whole thing kind of clicks in her head. And she's like, she kind of mutters to herself, so that's what it's all about. She isn't, however, about to go tell everyone verbally with the mechanic right there. So instead, she kind of just pulls at her comm link. She kind of explains it over their message system. So we've got ourselves a little bit of a clever bomb here. You see, it looks, from what I'm able to tell here, it looks like our little lighter is set to go off in order to launch a whole bunch of messages in the augmented reality to have our little driver have a little bit of an accident. Essentially a subtle form of assassination going on right here.
So make it look like an accident.
Yup. That's what it is. A bomb, but quiet.
And as you are revealing that to the party, Laurie is just happy to keep talking. He gets along with Harebuck well enough, and he's just going on about, man, this fucking Pounds' needless flair for the dramatic. You know, it's really a waste to waste such a beautiful antique. Just because it's untraceable, of course. This kind of old ass car, nobody could follow it. It doesn't have an AR presence. It's just But it's just the decency of it. This is such a beautiful automobile to waste on this.
He really is just not shutting up, is he?
But yes, you guys are you get to the bottom of the mystery, and the mechanic leaves you to your work, and you feel like you've found out about everything that you're going to be able to find out.
I'm gonna wait for the guy to be out of hearing range before speaking. We still have that hardware to figure out, and so far, this all seems like some plan of assassination.
Did we get any information regarding where this car's going to yet?
We were told to deliver it to someone.
Yes, you do
Or
have...
actually,
I didn't mean to cut you off.
I didn't take the destination in notes. I don't know if Jester did.
See, where was it supposed to go? Even I forgot.
All I have in my
lot?
notes is it says delivered to Tacoma is all I got currently.
Did you just say check your notes, Drank?
Yeah, let me see where exactly the vehicle was supposed to go.
For those keeping track at home, you should be on shot number 3.
Deliver it to the Tacoma docks.
Alright, so just to the docks. We're delivering what is essentially a spam bomb to a dock.
Spam bomb to a dock, a lighter to a
Lizard
at a club, and we still got the electronics that we know very little about at the moment. Actually, wait, it's going to a tailor.
No, that was the electronics. Go to the tailor.
Yeah. Well, that's the next stop, yeah, guys.
Yeah, and the hardware is next on the list.
Who's going to be the brave soul to drive the ad bomb?
Would I be able to actually just hitch it to the van, the bulldog?
I would assume a bulldog would be strong enough to hitch it. Just give me, or I'll roll it for you. I'm gonna roll an engineering check. It should be real simple. We're gonna call it target number of 1.
I'm not putting anyone in that thing.
Fair enough.
Jeez, remind me not to take a job if you're not on it. You're just way too useful.
Okay. It takes you a little bit longer than you'd like to admit, but it maybe about 15 minutes. You're able to get it hitched up, and you can pull it behind the van.
None of us are the wiser, though. Alright, so...
we need to get to that, to where we're collecting the hardware.
so
And then we need to figure out what's in it.
I got that on my notes right here. We have to go to Hardware Connoisseur, which are in Tacoma, and then the tailor is also in Tacoma.
So it is current. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to let you know it is about with the 15 minutes it took to hitch, it would be about 9:15.
All right, so if we can try to get these next things taken care of relatively quickly, and then try to have enough time to still hit the club.
What time were we told to meet the club at?
Between 9 p.m. and 1 a.m.
Yeah, so we've got a bit of a window here.
Well, if nothing goes wrong, then we can get to that club in time. But it sure feels like if they're trying to put the bomb on the lizard guy.
Well, we know that the lizard's taking the lighter, but we don't actually know if the lizard is also taking the car.
Yeah.
Obviously, the driver is going to be the intended target, so it could just be our poor lizard guys just our fall guy.
Exactly.
Yeah. Regardless, I haven't put the pieces back together in my head yet. We got one that we know very little about, so let's go ahead and Taking a look at a map, is the docks like on the way to the hardware store, after, before? Like, what's the logical path here?
From Tacoma to Auburn, just a moment. I'm having to pull up a real life map right now. So, going from your first place to the dock and then to Auburn would be faster than going to Auburn then going to the dock. Because if you go from where you are now to the dock and then to Auburn, you're looking at about 30 minutes. Otherwise, you're probably going to be looking at more like 5.
Okay, so we're currently in Auburn, aren't we?
I believe you're currently, unless I got it mixed up, I think you're in Tacoma right now. I might have it all backwards. I think y'all confused me.
Yeah, so according to my notes, which could be wrong, bear in mind, the car pickup was in Auburn, the delivery is Tacoma docks, and the electronics hardware job, the target and the pickup were both in Tacoma.
Oh,
I think you're right. So
1 second. I just got DC'd.
Oh,
So
oh,
those. Oh,
it looks like everybody just got DC'd.
oh, goodness.
Yep.
I didn't, because I'm not in the game.
We can change you not getting DC'd.
Let me check global chat. Oh, never mind.
Oh.
I'll put the room back up in a moment.
Let me check global chat crash.
Global chat is as awful as always, so we're gonna go ahead and hit the server back up. It does look like everybody disconnected, so the good news is the autosave caught it, so should be good.
So, yeah. Oh, I have an idea.
Does everyone in table 1 chat like Harebuck's license plate?
The buck
Yes.
truck. So you guys were right. It is, you are in Auburn, so it would be probably faster to go by the electronics bars. I was the one who was mixed up, I think.
Well,
Does checking the map count as your notes?
Yeah,
No.
if you want to take another shot, we'll all allow it.
Oh no! Now there's text all over my tablet.
Yeah, bugged out. Let's see. Let me put some of the more music up on me.
Wait, no, there's no undo. Oh my god! I just turned all my notes into nothing.
oh no.
I might need a new tablet.
Because we've been listening to the other track for a while, so we'll listen to Isolation. Oh, did it? Sorry?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
You're good. What were you saying?
I was going to tell our fire dude over there that if this is anything like the last couple times where we've had DCs and had to go back in, after the tools kind of become useless because the lettering and the font just kind of breaks.
Yeah,
I remember when in our last game after the DC, I had someone else's information on my sheet.
So this should actually read, "Let it fade away."
Oh,
But it's been weird.
Lord, I looked at Jester's table.
Oh.
I found my text.
Oh my goodness. I don't know why Tabletop Sim has been so messy the last couple months. I don't know if it's like an update or something they released. So, while we're talking about music, I do want to mention all of the music at our table is custom made for our table. It was made by a wonderful artist named Solo. I commissioned these tracks to be made. We do have a combat track that you may or may not hear tonight. But we also have an introduction track that you will often see on the YouTube channel, and a couple other things.
Wow, that's really cool. I
Yeah.
didn't realize that.
All of the music is totally custom.
I've just tried to download a bunch of free use stuff.
Oh yeah,
I'm
that's
just gonna use note cards.
The last time we used free to use stuff in 30 Nights, there is a section where it mentions going to a ska club. So we downloaded a bunch of open source ska music, and my players hated me for it. I mean, listened to ska music for like a whole game.
Hey, we
I can't imagine how bad free use ska music is.
during one of my D&D play sessions, one of our players got like a mind blast, and he was forced to listen to Blood on the Disco Floor. Not the Michael Jackson one, the other bad one.
Oh no.
Okay, I got note cards with my notes on it.
Perfect. Okay.
Awesome.
So we will get back to it. Y'all will figure out your route, and you figured out the fastest route would probably be to go to Auburn and go ahead and pick up the electronics.
Yes, please.
This is unrelated, but I actually did want to mention I actually have an idea for dealing with those. I don't know if we intend to try and prevent this assassination they're talking about, but I've actually got some tag erasers that can completely invalidate those AR tags.
Do you have what knowledge skills do you have?
Me?
Yeah.
I have Denver. Oh wait, no, Seattle politics. Firearm modding, parts manufacturers, motorcycle models, and firearm specialists.
Okay.
Can you tell I like guns?
I like guns.
Guns.
Does anybody have knowledge in, say, Shadowrunner etiquette or in anything like that?
No.
Looks like, let me check my sheet. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. 1 second. I got Arcana, Fifth World Pop Culture, Awakened Critters, Small Unit Tickets, Gains, and the Seattle Street. So if Seattle Gains or the Seattle Streets does anything, otherwise I don't think so.
We'll take street knowledge for this. You do know that while you probably are in a position to sabotage this, it wasn't part of the original job that you were hired for, to sabotage this run. And sabotaging this run, while definitely plausible, and if it's your moral obligation to do so, you can do so, but you do know that it means you probably won't be paid for the second portion of the job. Because there's not a lot of ways you can sabotage it that the Johnson won't find out.
Yeah, Brynne might not be interested in throwing a wrench in this guy's plans, but might just be interested in knowing how the sausage was made.
Trying to know. This is true.
Sausage is nice.
The option's there, though.
So,
onward.
yes, I will go ahead and run us through our next scene. I do have to bounce around a little bit. You drive en route to the hardware store is okay. Yeah, okay, perfect. So you drive en route to Hardware Connoisseur Central, which is a fancy name for a repair shop of old Matrix devices. Yes, you know where to go for replacement hardware you have to deliver. As you arrive at the shop, you see a lot of old comlinks and other devices hidden behind ballistic glass, and an uninterested clerk that immediately waves you through to the back. In the back, you see a troll leaning over what looks to be a dismantled cleaning drone, rewiring it while putting some fancy new chips in. He turns around and gives you a wide grin. You're the pickup crew, right? I got the beauty you'll be delivering in that case over there. Give me a minute to wrap this up for another group and I'll explain how to install it. This job might be less fancy than the taps in your delivery, but it'll survive far more scrutiny than most things we've done for pounds. And with that, she goes back to her work for a few minutes.
Would it be possible for Polymath to, as it were, geek out over what the troll is working on?
For sure. Yeah, you can definitely geek out with. In fact, she says that she's happy to give a babbling, distracted, enthusiastic conversation. So you're able to just straddle up with her, and she's happy to tell you all about this current project she's working on. That is completely unrelated to the job, so you can dream up whatever Shadowrunner scenario that you can put together.
I have nothing I can do here because of being just useless with electronics.
Yeah, just don't touch anything.
My hands are too big for all of these small machines.
Try saying that to her. I point to the troll that's probably got hand dexterity through the freaking roof. That's working on the drone.
I
Now,
don't know how she does it.
Polymath, as you're geeking out with your new troll friend who's happy to tell you all about this drone she's working on, it does kind of click in your mind that if she's happy to just tell you about this drone that she probably shouldn't be telling you about, she's probably happy to also tell you about whatever you're picking up for pounds. It seems
exactly where I was going.
Oh, absolutely. If you want to begin digging, there's not even a social check. She's happy to blab about whatever you want to know.
Yeah, no. Polly would kind of try, in the only way that her socially awkward self can do, kind of tries to steer the conversation towards what they're picking up.
One moment. So she begins. She's happy to change up. In fact, she's really happy to get off the topic of the drone she's working on because it strikes her that she shouldn't have been talking about that. That was another Shadowrunner's job. But she happily switches over to the object at hand. She goes on to several tangents for us. Her conversational style is all over the place. She'll be talking about it one moment and then swap over to something else another moment. But she starts going on about how it was such a hard to find relic, and how to install it. Give me. Actually, I'm just gonna. You would probably understand. So she goes, it's a matrix repeater from before Crash 2.0, you know. Real old. As for the tap, it allows piggybacking back towards the sender, allowing the device to install malware remotely. Furthermore, the satellite link will handle any and all upcoming data, no problem. Yeah.
Ooh, boy.
So for
Polly just kind of nods along, letting her kind of just go her way with it.
yeah, so that's basically all she's got to say. You know, is an ancient piece of technology, super old. It's an antique. Nobody but her could have done it this well, of course. It's a repeater from Crash 2.0 or before Crash 2.0, which makes it like real old. Previous Matrix, like Web 1.0 level tech. And she also gives you the step-by-step on how to install it. As she's going over it, you do get the sensation that if you wanted to, you could probably try to slide your own independent tap in there, but it would be a very difficult task to do.
No, that is definitely something that would be, while having the knowledge to do so, or the knowledge that she could, the knowledge to do so would be a very different thing. The difference between an enthusiast and an actual person working in it, the field.
I'm inadequate with the electronics, but I'm the one trying to fix the tablets.
So all that's really left for you to pick up. But as you get ready to pick up the tech, and she walks you through the installation, she enthusiastically stops you all and she's like, "Thank you so much for stopping by. Hey, listen, if you never need any work from me, I'm Miss Blackstone. Here, let me go ahead and give you my comm code. We can have a chat some other time. I'm happy to help you with anything you need."
Oh, absolutely. I'll take that.
And she passes her comm code to anybody who.
Did someone say pizza?
I want pizza. I gotta. Food is so tempting right now. Dieting is
No
hard.
food for Riri.
No food for
I can
Riri.
imagine with your fasting and all.
Yeah.
Just think thin thoughts, Riri.
Think thin thoughts.
Thin thought.
It's impossible. He's a potato.
I'm too starchy. That's why it's so hard to lose weight. Alright.
Gotta boil you.
I mean, you could be in my situation where I live so far out of town, literally nobody will deliver.
I'm gonna come get you and move you into here.
Just drive over and steal you.
just gonna put a little mother-in-law cottage on the back of your property for me and the fiance.
Absolutely. Perfect.
No time to explain, get in the car.
So now y'all have all 3 objects. The question is which one to deliver first.
Alright, so how do we handle this? It's clear the lighter sets off the car.
I'm not so certain about that myself, but maybe I'm just not following the path quite right.
No, from what I'm starting to pick up between the matrix repeater right here, it looks like they're trying to essentially we have a lighter that triggers some sort of operation of some kind. We have a car bomb essentially, and then we have a matrix repeater that's basically meant to intercept incoming data and interpret what's going on. Not to mention send information back to a source.
Got an
So
idea.
we're getting a transmitter, a car bomb that requires a transmitter to be set off, I'm figuring, and hardware which would block anyone from stopping the bomb and send it back to the controller of the hardware.
Not to mention with a little bit of information gathering in the middle of it all.
So this is all just a very, very elaborate way to take someone out.
Essentially, not to take someone out and then take a lot of information from them while they're at it.
I would like
Probably.
to propose something.
Go ahead.
Brynne asked us to figure out what the items are, what they're actually for, and where they're going. We have all that information right now. Should we contact her before we finish these drop-offs?
We
I
don't.
think that'd be the best course of action, but we don't know how she'll react.
You did say you could call her at any time with questions.
Yeah, that seems like a good point. Though I admit we technically don't know where the car or the hardware are going. We just know the locations.
So
We don't have a who behind those.
I'm gonna do a matrix search for the address for the Tacoma docks. When he was spinning his yarn, he basically said it's like a company car kind of thing. He wanted to get it back before the boss noticed, kind of deal. Anything to that?
Go ahead and give me your matrix search.
Which would be logic, but since it's raw, I'll do it at a -1.
So it would be logic, and if you don't have electronics, it would just be -1.
1 second.
It is
I
an-
may have.
It is an extended check. I believe it's like 5 minutes, so you can do it for however long you want to.
So on my Sony Emperor, I did buy the browse program. Does that help at all?
The browse program, let me see exactly how that works. I think browse gives you matrix, boop, browse, boop. Browse while doing matrix searches gain 1 edge that you can spend.
Alright, so my logic is 6. I'll be 5 dice base. I pulled away from those. So what can I do with 1 edge? I do apologize, but
You could, you'd probably have to combine it with. You could either reroll one dice after you throw it, or you could combine it with the rest of your edge pool to take any kind of edge action. And for the sake of
I do have
obedience,
analytical mind, so I think I'll be able to do a 2 edge action.
yes, you do get 1 edge for a logic test for analytical mind.
And that'll I can add a die for that, so I can just roll straight 6.
Yes. Give me just one moment while you do that.
Ready when you are, sir.
How many hits did you get?
I got 3 hits.
Okay. So you spend about 5 minutes floating around the matrix. It's currently about 9:30, so this moves it to about 9:35. And it doesn't really look like there's anything terribly of note when it comes to the docks.
All right, yeah, you guys are right. I'm not finding anything on the drop off to really kind of educate an idea as to why the car is going there.
I think in that case, before we quite draw everything off, the best thing is probably to contact Brynne.
I'll contact her, and I'll like take out the sensei and try to call her up.
All right. You give her a call, and Brynne answers quite expediently. If it isn't my favorite team, how can I help you?
Well, we figured out what all the items were and we sort of know where they're going and what they're for. But we have questions, and we want to see if you can help us clear things up.
Sure thing. What questions did you have?
Just so not to repeat everything, I'll just say that, like, I tell her all the information we got so far about what this stuff does.
Well, as you start to go over that, she stops. She's like, "I'd rather you save the details until our meeting, rather than discuss this all so brazenly over the phone. We can cover all of that after you've completed your mission for Mr. Pounds."
Well, that's the thing. We don't know what he wants to do with all these items, and we don't want to do anything that might cause bad. That might look bad for us.
Oh, my dear friend, what is your character's name?
Slim.
Slim. I absolutely appreciate the forethought here, but I would ask that you understand. You would not be blamed for whatever the result of Mr. Pound's scheme are. You are Shadowrunners and you are hired to do your job. I would encourage you even to wrap up your job for Mr. Pounds before coming to see me. And if it's anything terribly dangerous, I'm sure myself and my associates will handle it at a later time.
Well, if you say so. I'll look to the group, see if they have anything to add.
No.
Polymath just shakes her head.
Alright. Well, we'll see you when we're done then.
I look forward to seeing all of you. And she disconnects.
Well, that was useless.
Well, I guess I'm not the idea person then, eh?
No, she made good points. Talking about this in the open, talking about bomb over the phone ain't exactly the best way to not have trouble.
Should have thought of that. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Right, let's get moving.
PSA branch of Knights Errant just come and tackle us out of nowhere.
No, I wouldn't typically.
I was gonna say orc operatives, but I don't know if that's in this universe.
All right, gang. We got the dock's neck, or is the tailor closer?
Ain't no way any of us is getting inside that car, so we're gonna drag it.
Yup. Keep on hitching.
Let's see. To drop off the vehicle would be at Tacoma Docks. To drop off the electronics would be at Hartman's Tailoring, which is, I believe, also in. No, that would be at Hardware Con. So that would also be in Tacoma, I believe. So pretty much everything except for Underworld 93 is in Tacoma. So
where's Underworld 93?
Underworld
back downtown.
Back downtown.
Probably best to drop off our 2 things in Tacoma and then head to the
Yeah,
downtown.
definitely. Either of you all got a preference on car or hardware?
Well, we're not getting into cars, so let's go drop off the car first, get us far away from that thing, and then we'll drop off the hardware.
All right.
See, if you
Well,
guys picked up an attack helicopter, you wouldn't have to worry about the stuff.
Let me guess, someone in chat said that.
It still blows my mind that you can buy a VTOL.
If you can get the money for it, yeah.
Yeah, Shadowrun's a place of money gets you where you want to go.
So which one of the two did y'all say you were heading to?
We're gonna drop off
the car, and then go drop off the hardware.
Okay. So give me just one moment. Alright. You drive this old antique towards the docks, or rather, in this case, you tow this old antique to the docks like you just stole it. That is to say, with extreme care. You eventually see the light of the parking lot as you reach your destination. Seems that even though it's night, there's still plenty of people around. As you get a little closer, you see a dozen orcs creating an impromptu fire pit, which is unfortunately located literally at the spot where you're supposed to park the vehicle. Behind them, you see walls surrounding several warehouses. On the walls are some extremely weathered Rinraku tags, sloppily painted over with a decade-old Stuffer Shack logo, indicating that long ago these warehouses were Rinraku's property.
Well, this is something. What do we do about this one?
It's Slim. You know how to turn things invisible?
Before we get to that,
I can turn myself invisible in the astral, and that's about it.
I do, Jester, with your knowledge skill, you recognize that these are, I believe, Halloweeners. Let me just double check their stat block here.
Ooh.
Hands for talking. Yes, you do see at least one of them. I see. Oh, yeah, eight of them are Halloweeners, and they're having a party with four people from, you would assume another game, but you don't recognize where they're from.
Halloweeners? What day is it?
They're obviously they're just like a Halloween horror themed game. Anyway, I could very possibly mingle with the group, possibly distract them or whatever.
Well, we
really wish we had more time for this, because the only way that I know to make things invisible is I have to make trinkets for it. I am not able to do that just off the fly in Mojo. I never really figured out how.
Before they go any further, Polymath kind of speaks up with, hey, might it actually, since it looks like this might actually take us a little bit of time, might it be a good idea for someone to split off to bring the lighter downtown separately? That way we don't need to be worrying about time.
Oh, that's probably a job for Harebuck, I'd imagine.
Oh, I got Monica. You're right.
Hi.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. They're actually not Halloweeners. They just use the Halloweener stat block. You recognize that they're Ragers, which is a different gang.
I believe Ragers are a subset of Halloweeners, or basically a branch off. Like lore-wise, if I'm not mistaken, when the Ancients came in and practically killed them all, what was left became the Ragers, and then from that, they kind of reformed in some groups. Which is also why when I was saying like the Carnival is the sect of the Halloweeners that I was kind of like rolling under. It's kind of like a side group of that. And I believe Carnival himself is like even considered a rager of sorts. So
Why even now?
I was doing a lot of googling, so it's difficult to say whether or not the information that I got is like canon and actual true, or if I was just kind of going down rabbit holes that are kind of going different directions or not.
For now, we'll say the Ragers are separate enough from the gang that you ran with that you would consider them to be a different.
Okay, so bummer, but I respect the decision.
So what exactly do we do about them? They're in the way of our drop-off. Oy.
Y'all are sure you want to send Harebuck away at this venture to go?
Not
No,
anymore.
I think we might actually need someone with some charisma.
Yeah, I'm not so certain anymore. I was certain when I thought maybe I had an in with these people, but after taking another look, those colors are just different enough. I don't really recognize that specific mutation.
I mean, you definitely recognize what gang they're from, but you just don't have direct connection to them.
All right, so I'm kind of short on ideas here, guys. Y'all thinking anything?
No, I'm pretty stumped on this one, actually.
The only thing that's really coming to mind is kind of like Scooby-Doo style. Someone's like talking to him, and then like in the in the background, we're kind of like pushing the car into place or something.
So as y'all have your a bit of a back and forth on ideas here, you notice that after a couple of minutes, one of the Ragers is walking towards your vehicle. He's not armed or anything really. He has a gun, but he's not holding it. It's stuck down in his waistline. But he approaches Polymath's van, which I believe is what's pulling the vehicle, and knocks on the window.
She rolls down the window. She's willing to hear him out.
He leans comfortable and goes, "Hey there." Couldn't help but notice that beautiful antique that you've got towing there. And I was thinking, why don't you, as a favor to your local enforcers, hand over the keys and let us take that out for a couple hours? Promise I'll bring it back. Whiz is clean.
No, I don't trust that. I don't trust that.
There's a look of deep doubt. What's that guy?
Whisper, whisper, whisper. Technically, that means we delivered it at the docks. We did our job.
We're not giving it to these guys.
Where are we? There's nothing saying that these guys. We were not given an actual person. For all we know, these are in fact actually the exact targets.
Well, we could ask. We can't just ask, hey, do you know Mr. Pounds?
I say we go ahead and just hand it over, guys. That's if we're going down to like a democratus. I can never really pronounce that word too right.
Democratic.
Votey. If we're gonna go votey on it, I'd say let's dump it and start working on the other avenues we got to do.
The little part of me is curious what they're doing here exactly. I think if we can actually ascertain what exactly brought them to this place exactly, we might actually be able to determine if that is going to be a violation of the job or not.
Gain knowledge. Riri would I'd imagine they're kind of just chilling in what they would regard as their turf kind of thing, or is it possibly a little different than that?
You look around a bit at the tags and the colors they're wearing, and you get the feeling that these are probably not the recipients of a deep cover shadow run. Rather, they're two different sets of gangs having a bit of a party, and they think you just brought them a nice toy to play around with. Your gang knowledge also informs you that he's asking... his form of asking here isn't really a question. He's a couple of moments from demanding the keys.
Oh yeah,
No,
he's very much going to be forcing this if we don't go with it.
This was not a question. It was just stated like a question.
We're not giving the car. Not to them.
How many of these guys are there?
At least 8 on one half.
Yeah, you see that there are 8 Ragers, and there are 4 other people who don't seem to be wearing gang colors y'all recognize.
So I think our 2 options are we geek these guys, or we give them the car.
I'm not exactly a professional in this, but I doubt they're just gonna let us go, even if we give it.
I give my vote, and if you guys want to do something different, I'm with you the entire way on that one. I don't owe these guys any sort of specifics.
Harebuck steps forward, while everyone's DNIing and trying to plan out their elaborate little thing, with a grin on his face.
Oh no.
Lifts up his arm, which has a retro-style mechanical watch on it, opens a hinge on it, sniffs deeply of the Nova Coke he's got in there, smiles at the person and says, "Y'all ain't fucking touching our car, but we're down to party if you want to play."
And then in comes the third option.
Bow bow.
Goodness. Give me. Are you doing this more as like an intimidation or as what is the? Because
it's not so much an intimidation. He's trying to portray confidence. He's not stating, "Oh, we're gonna fight over the car." He's stating, "You're not touching the car," as if it were just a fact as evident as the existence of God, and distract them with an offer to give them the good drugs.
Oh, you're gonna offer them drugs and a bit of.
Because Harebuck has a gear guy and a doctor. Harebuck can get the good drugs.
Go ahead and give me your influence. I will let you know this might be a fairly difficult check because as you start that up, the more of the gang starts coming over, and they seem like they're the kind of people that the more of them that are in one single spot, the greater their bullshit becomes. If you've ever known anybody like that,
Yes.
that's the sensation you have from them.
There we go. Oh, I thought my sounds cut out.
But I'm just looking at my edge real quick.
That's just the Dragon Queen crew, Rary.
Wait, what?
Look in chat.
Yeah, that is the Dragon Queen crew is our usual Monday table. Yeah, the more of them we have at any given table, the greater the bullshit becomes.
It's beautiful.
Okay.
Love you, Mako.
I got 10 on the influence, 12 from the pheromones, obviously. I am. Harebuck had casually shucked out of his auctioneer because, oh god, it is not going to help him here. He's wearing, he switched out of the auctioneer jacket and into his armor jacket as he got out of the car, and so no social bonus from that. But first impression applies, which is an edge, I believe. So, and he just did a really big hit of drugs. Do I have a bigger social pool than this mook?
Let me take a look here because your social pool is sort of reinforced. But yes, you do have a greater social pool than that. Oh, sure.
Alright, so back to the usual. Actually, I believe that's 14. 10 for the pool, 2 for the pheromones, 2 for the. Oh, no, that's 2 edge, never mind. So 12 dice, and I'm going to spend 4 edge and add my edge and make them explode to this roll.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Hit it.
How many dice is that total?
A lot.
Checking my
You'll see.
My edge is 5, so, now we're throwing 17 dice at this problem and 6s explode.
Yeah, that is a beautiful use of edge.
Here you go, have some dice.
Channel the social spirit bomb.
My dice bag decided to be a little thief and stole Hugion's character page. There's just Hugion's page under my dice bag, and it's messing up with how I drag the dice out.
Let me unlock your dice bag so you can.
Oh, it's attached to the bag. I moved it myself. It's attached to it.
Oh,
Yeah, there's I got Harebucks underneath my dice bag. Crazy.
I'm gonna have to remake this whole table. Basically, I think the crash from the other night hacked it all up.
Well,
There it
it's
goes.
clearly a buffer that's not emptying properly.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and of those you got 3 6s you can explode. Yeah, 5 hits so far.
And 3 6s are.
Exploding.
Yep.
Ah, nothing.
Nope, that's the hold button.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do here. You did tie with them, but I'm not gonna fail you. Rather, they're gonna give you a bit of a counter offer. So you go back and forth, but they're bolstered by the fact that they're in their big group, and they saw you take that hit, and they're like, listen. I don't know what y'all are up to, but y'all look like the kind of party. And that's what this is. We're throwing a party. So I'll tell you what. We'll leave your fancy schmancy car alone if y'all stay and party with us, and every single one of you indulges.
I
So
got
there's-
a hit on the scorched air.
Counter offer to your counter offer. Because my friend over there, gestures randomly at one of the group, is late for an appointment and must attend to it, i.e. DNI message going out to get the delivery made. But since I don't want to deprive you of the good fun, I will give up 3 concessions to you. 1, I will bring the drugs. 2, I will do 2 hits for every one you personally do. Points right at the leader. 3. We're gonna go on joyride around the town, and some of y'all can ride in the bed of my truck.
How are you gonna survive that many hits?
DNI,
Sorry.
I don't know.
So Harebuck, you're gonna spend about an hour partying with these folks at least. This is gonna take a bit of your time, but
Can the hardware delivery be done while he's doing the drugs?
Yeah, absolutely. Y'all are probably gonna have to split up. But I am going to because I want to see how this is gonna go up front. Harebuck, what is on your drugs that you're sharing with these friends? What is the what's it called? Not the drain. Effectively, the drain.
The Doug Penderson conjure thing.
Let's see. What drugs are they? Let me ask you that.
Oh, Harebuck is gonna contact his drugs guy, his gear person, who is Lev Reznov. Actually, no. He's gonna contact Holly McKay, his doctor, and say, I need a powdered inhalant that these folks can do that's a depressant, something on the order of heroin or whatever. Or,
Cyanide.
Some kind of benzo.
That's a little
Not
too far on the
cyanide, ain't gonna kill
depressant.
it. He's gonna, some kind of downer, and a few doses of Nova Coke for me. He's gonna take an upper while he's giving them all downers.
Okay.
Also, how many of us are able to split away on this?
I imagine all of you will be able to, because Harebuck is basically saying that he'll party with them himself. I just need to see what your
noble sacrifice, Harebuck.
what your hangar was effectively going to be, because I seem to remember that when drugs wear off, there is a negative effect. I'm trying to,
Oh God, yes.
but I don't remember where it's at in here.
If it's anything like real drugs, if he takes anything above 5 shots, his heart is gonna explode.
After the drug wears off, okay, So you're going to take an upper, and you're going to give them a downer. So we're going to assume... I'm putting those all together before we role play out the call, so I know rules-wise what I'm looking at. So you're probably going to be taking something like Jazz, I think, is going to be the most upper I see on here. And they're probably going to be taking... Crashes. Okay, so I know what it's going to be. All right, so you're reaching out to your doctor. Tell me a little bit about your doctor and what your relationship with him is.
Their name is Holly McKay. They're basically they work at a reputable clinic, but do quote unquote free clinic, community clinic stuff on the side, i.e. they're a street doc, to make a little extra cash, so basically and already some flexible morals, but they do function in the corporate system to a degree, so not necessarily willing to take every risk for Harebuck, I'll admit.
So you give them a call? I'm sorry, was it a he or a she? What was their pronouns?
They, not
they.
Non-binary, they, but their name is Holly McKay.
Holly McKay. So you give Holly a ring, and they answer with a decent quickness. They kind of answer this 2 or 3 rings, says they're a little bit busy, but not too busy to answer. And they're immediately like, Harebuck, what can I do you for? You get shot again?
I have never been shot. Thank you very kindly. I was tased.
Oh, my mistake.
Admittedly, at the time, answering a Lone Star who told me to turn around by singing lyrics from Total Eclipse of the Heart was probably not the wisest decision. But moving on, we are going to need some fun for a business meeting I'm having with some friends at the dock, and I was wondering if you could send along a package number 9 for me.
Okay, so is that your clue to them that you're getting downers for them?
Yeah, he's pre-arranged. I mean, this person's loyalty for connection for, they've definitely arranged a number of, this is my calm them down while I act all super high and jazzy.
Okay. So in that case, listen, it looks like for number 4, how much of this are you looking to be getting?
Oh, I would say 8 and 1, meaning one of his, 8 of theirs. So enough for a party for that.
Alright, so here's what I can do for you. You float me, we're going to say, expenditure plus convenience for the same day setup. Float me 200 million and I'll make that happen for you.
Absolutely, darling.
Alright.
And tell your lovely spouse that I say hello.
I will absolutely do that after I finish sewing up this Shadowrunner. You have a good night.
Always do.
Are they sewing up a dragon queen?
Probably, yeah. If I can picture somebody got shot. So yeah, they arrange a place for you to deliver and to have a bit of a party with these gangers. They send Nova Coke for the gangers and Jazz for you. Once Nova Coke expires, the gangers are basically out. Their initiative is reduced to 0, basically, and they're just like, boop. And for you, when you crash on Jazz, let me go back to that. You are going to have to... Jazz, you enter the dazed status, which means... Let me pull dazed up here. you cannot spend edge, and any initiative you roll is reduced by 4. So you're a little bit too out of it by the end of this party to throw any of your experience, any of your edge at a situation. But I think you spent most of your edge doing this, to be honest with you.
Pretty sure
Yeah,
you
I've
did.
got 5 and I spent 4. I spent 4. No, I've spent 4. I've got 5 natively. I earned 2 for that interaction because I had first impression and a higher social pool, so I'm down to 3 edge. So I could still do something with it, but now that's not an option because I played the social card for all it was worth.
Yeah, you have a great time over the next hour, and so do the gangers. Avoiding combat in a way I think we can all probably surmise the module didn't expect. Option C, get super high with all of the gangers. While the rest of the crew finishes delivering the vehicle, so you drop it off at the docks and you're free to move to another location.
So while he's
Before I take Harebuck out of the partying, since this is moving on to everyone else, I firmly expect that by this time tomorrow there will be pictures of a shirtless Harebuck standing in the bed of a moving pickup truck screaming as we rampage around town.
And a certain potato.
my money is it's going to be more than just shirtless.
The more Harebuck mentions my poor Shadowcaster being drugged into these shenanigans, I am more and more imagining Harebuck just kicks in the door and just takes Riri away to shenanigans.
Exactly. Why wouldn't you want to follow the
I heard
big,
there were
strong
shenanigans. I'm here.
I heard there were big, strong males.
Do people normally fail to notice they're on downwards or upwards? Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I am a good boy, and I have never injected even one drug, so I don't have a clue. I am all for legalization, but I'm also a big square, so I don't know. The only drug I do is I have a big caffeine addiction, and that's about it.
The only drug he does is lust. Anyways.
Wait, what?
As someone who does legally take, who has pot and whatnot, Mako's basically got the right of it. You'd kind of notice afterwards.
Notice after. Yes, they might be mad at Buck the day after, but as for the day of, they're all a little bit too tired to care.
All right, so now let's get that hardware install over to the tailor. And
While he's busy doing that, it's the best thing we can do.
Yep.
So
Polymath, time to shine again on that one.
Yep.
perfect. So
Let's hope he doesn't die.
yeah. So y'all drop off the vehicle and begin to pull away shortly after Harebuck has initiated Operation Party. As you get down the road a little bit, and you turn on the radio, and you hear on the local news about a pickup truck screaming down the interstate with a shirtless man in the back screaming at police officers. As you make your way on over to your last location, as you approach Hartman's Tailoring. You notice what the map already told you. It lies about 80 meters from the entrance of the Ache, with half a dozen Lone Star Prison Industry troops guarding said entrance, warily inspecting nearby traffic. They wouldn't leave the Ache, but any noise you make is bound to draw their attention and cause nearby patrols to arrive much faster. Moving closer to the clothier shop, you overhear drunk noises coming from the alleyway behind it, and right near the back entrance you were told to use. So, as you basically pull in to the tailor, you know that you're supposed to use the back entrance in the alleyway, and because you just can't seem to get away from the other criminal element, there is a gang of night stalkers hanging around the back of the shop in the alleyway.
I'm
How many
too
numbers
tired.
are we dealing with?
Yeah, how many numbers?
There are a dozen of them.
Damn.
No, well, there's no way we can take all of that on.
Yeah. You might be surprised, but it's definitely not something that I want to try to do.
What does Arm 4 mean?
What is what? Sorry.
For defense rating, it says physical DR Arm 4.
Oh, that means, what does armor for me? Armor, oh, it means 4 of it is from your armor,
Oh, okay.
I imagine.
Yeah, it's the only thing I can think of too.
Yeah, that
Because that sounds like 8 plus your armor would be 12.
Yeah, okay. Alright, what do we do here? Because if we go in there, those guys we ain't got the same back off, Let me try that again.
Actually, here's what we're
We
gonna do.
got a backup plan this time.
We're 2.5 hours in, so I think it is appropriate that we take our second break of the evening. We are gonna. First, wow, there's 22 messages in the missions chat. Let me see what I missed. Alright, everybody, I apologize. I am a minute late. I just had to get up and stretch a little bit.
I am still thinking how to even handle this next encounter.
It certainly is a situation, but I am sure all of y'all will handle it well. Now, I did want to mention, because somebody was asking about plugs in Twitch, we do upload. I do upload my Monday games and the missions to our YouTube channel, which I linked in the chat. If you give that a follow, I'm also working on non-live play videos. So I'm working on lore videos for Mercurial that should go up soon. I'm also going to be working on uploading a streamlined Let's Play of the Japanese-only Shadowrun game that we played a couple of weeks ago. We've played that all the way through, so you want to see a game that almost nobody, even the most stringent lore hounds, have not seen, that'll be going up on the YouTube eventually. And then, of course, the Twitter and Discord is linked below. I did put a combat map on the field, as y'all noticed. There was not something I had thought to put beforehand. I realize in retrospect how likely combat could be in this situation, so I'm going to grab everybody's tokens. I'm going to put you all across the street so you can make any appropriate decisions you'd like to make before you head over there. Jester's token seems to have gone missing. I will figure that out in a moment. Hold on a moment. The dice holding the board up. There we go. This is like a perfect time to split the party. Jester, you are going to have to be represented by a chess piece for this particular encounter. I apologize for that. If it makes you feel any better, I'm going to make you the king.
Yay.
Slay King.
Slay.
Is Harebuck with us on this one? Or was this while Harebuck's partying?
Yeah, Harebuck would be out partying right now. Unless y'all want to wait for him. He's going to be partying for at least an hour. So it's up to y'all if you want to wait for Harebuck before you try to handle this.
I'm starting to form some non-combat ideas.
Yeah, the only okay, so I got 2 ideas.
Mm-hmm.
You want to shoot yours out first, and then we'll go down the line?
So I've got a little bit of an idea. It needs some elaborating to work, but so you may recall from our last game that I brought up that I have an Inu drone that has a realistic skin. So I have this dog I can use. And I have a weird feeling we might be able to either get them to go away or somehow get past to them via the use of the dog. There's nothing like suddenly running a Shiba Inu through a crowd of gang members.
I definitely like the idea. I'm not too certain how to help it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think about, is what we can do with that. Either something that's going to make them either want to chase it or run away from it, I think.
Why not just make the dog stronger?
Mm.
I
I'm not
could buff
sure.
up your dog and make sure it could even help us in this if we do intend to fight.
It's not a combat drone. Like, that, trying to get that thing to fight is not like, if I actually wanted to fight with the drones, then I would definitely I'd bring out the Oni, or or slam a steel lance through there.
Just attach a gun to it. There you go, combat drone.
I essentially have
gun to a dog.
Exactly.
I essentially have like 2.5 ideas. One idea is we hold on this aspect and hit the club now, and then come back, perhaps with a Harebuck available, with his incredible.
I'm very, very hungover.
Yeah.
How are we gonna even find him?
He's pretty obvious. Yeah. And the other idea, like, that's kind of good, is essentially like part combat type thing. Like, part of the thing is like maybe just like I piss him off and try to run away, but I don't know how far I'll really get. And then while doing that, Polymath gets in and does the install while they're no longer guarding the back door. Or we can also turn that into like a combat thing, to where maybe I just like try to lure them into an ambush of sorts.
I doubt I'm allowed to ask this, but what's their speed?
You're right. You're not allowed to ask that.
Well, the other thing I was going to realize is, do any of you guys have gang knowledge? Because if we could maybe like think of something valuable to them. Them seeing a defenseless dog carrying around something valuable would probably make them want to chase it. And at least
might have a contact that can help us with that.
I do have a knowledge skill for street games. It's just a player me didn't think that far through it. So Riri, with a street game knowledge, would I be able to have any insight that would work in the direction that
Roll me your.
Mouth was thinking?
Yeah, give me a memory check. That's going to be your 10d6. Give me a 10d6 check.
I do have wizard gangs. Would that help at all?
It would, but I'm going to go ahead and let Jester roll first. Reverend, thank you for 17 months. Subscribe to the channel. I absolutely appreciate it. Thanks to you, I can eat tomorrow. For every one subscriber, I'm allowed to eat.
Be careful what you say, Riri. You're on a diet right now. So
Oh, yeah.
you don't want to start losing subscribers trying to help you with your diet.
Oh,
Don't
no.
make me gift 100 subs, Riri.
Feed the GM.
I mean, is that not what stream snacks are for?
So 3 hits. Okay,
3
so
successes.
yeah, you get to thinking about it, and you're able to put together more or less what you pick up from the way they're acting, the level of comfort they have, and what they're carrying, that they consider this kind of back alley area to be their turf. And you think for a moment, why would they want to claim this area that's not, typical gang activity area? And it's because the Ache is nearby. The Ache is so heavily guarded by Lone Star that it scares off 99% of the gangs. For good reason, because it means the response time is real low. But these gangers would rather deal with the Star than deal with other gangs. So they've set themselves up here. It's going to be hard to chase them off because this is their spot. This is where they want to be.
And then also, furthermore to that, I just learned that we have low response time from Lone Star for any shenanigans.
Yes. The 8 guards nearby are unlikely to leave the 8 unguarded, but they're probably going to call the star on you. If they spot a lot of combat.
What if we... Now hear me out on this. What if we start a false fire to try and make them think their turf is in danger so they leave to go and try to protect their turf and fix it?
Yeah, you could absolutely do a little bit of arson.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Is there like some trash can filled with stuff to light on fire and then just roll into an alley?
You could put it together. Let me see. In order to set up a sufficiently flammable situation, you're going to need to get a couple of things to work. So first, anybody who wants to help with this plan, give me a perception.
If you could roll that for me, that would be 5, 6, 8.
8. Okay.
I'm assuming
Dang it.
perception and intuition.
Another miss. One of these days, I'm going to use this dog.
Look, I have fire in my name. I'm gonna start a fire.
I'm Halloweener affiliated. It's like my job to start fires.
Imagine being such wusses that even Lone Star doesn't care to arrest you. Look how you wrote this and you're throwing shade at the gang you put in it. That's a next level meta bullying.
Is that bullying yourself though?
I think it's bullying the gang you wrote in. Let me see here. All right, y'all do some looking around. You're able to find like one of those big outdoor trash cans, but it doesn't have enough trash in it. So you get to collecting litter. You got to do some good for the city, right? For those of you who want to help collect flammable litter, give me another perception. And also, does anybody have anything on their persons like gasoline or matches or a way to start the fire?
I have Hellblast.
I have Flame Strike.
The 2 mages are going to make this work.
Wait, so am I rolling the 7 or the 2?
Roll me another perception. This can be your intuition plus perception. So 7. 76.
Okay.
2 successes on Jester.
4.
And so actually in this situation, Polymath does most of the work getting the trash.
What? I got 4 hits.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, you and Polymath both got 4 then. So both of you collect the hell out of some trash, stuff it in a trash can that's as big as a person, and prepare to kick it down the alleyway. Both of my mages who want to use flame magic to make this happen, go ahead. One moment. I think we need more appropriate music for this.
We didn't start the fire.
We're gonna do.
Well, actually, we did. That's the exact.
You got video proof?
All right. So you've got this thing ready to roll down the alleyway. The 2 mages who want to help, roll me your appropriate your magic plus sorcery.
Magic plus sorcery?
Yeah, or spellcasting plus sorcery, I believe.
It
Conjuring.
says 6 plus 2. So is that 14 dice?
It looks like you roll 12d6 plus 14. Yeah,
Yes,
so you roll
yep,
14.
Yes, a total of 14, yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I think that's 14.
Now roll it for me.
Yeah, that's 14.
Okay. Sure.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits.
And you're doing Hellblast, right?
I'm
Yes,
doing
yep.
Flame Strike.
He's doing Flame
Hellblast.
Strike. I got Hellblast.
What is the description for Hellblast, if you don't mind?
It's the same as Fireball, except it also has it also gives a corrosive status as well as the flammable status.
It's the one that's kind of like Napalm, is it? Okay.
Yain?
Well, it's corrosive. Okay, I see. Never mind. I see. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay,
Able to pull up the rules right now.
so where are you kicking? Are you kicking it down this alleyway or directly at them?
Hang on. Oh,
Or
I
down
don't have
here.
access to ping.
Should just be tab. Down here?
Yeah, that way they go that direction, and we can go to the clove here.
Alright. Here's what happens.
Oh boy.
You all pick this barrel full of trash down the alley and hit it with flame strike and hellfire, and it immediately catches fire. It roars down the alleyway and smashes against a nearby building down here somewhere. And the fire is a little bit more intense than perhaps you expected. What was once a small fire very rapidly becomes a much larger fire, and the building next to it catches a bit. Obviously, the gang is a little bit uncomfortable with the situation. You hear, "What the dreck?" And just a myriad of swears and curses and everything else. And they begin running over towards the fire because they don't want their whole territory to burn down. But things are not all so cheery. See, not just the gang notices this, but so does the nearby H, which cannot ignore a giant blaze that has just kicked off like less than a block away from their facility.
We're just concerned bystanders.
Yes.
Yeah, we're just gonna act concerned, like we didn't just cause a massive fire spread.
So yeah, there is a nearby blaze over here now. You have sufficiently pulled the gangers' attentions away.
Polymath, get to work, please.
Get to work.
I'm gonna make my way in there and let's get this over with.
Alright. You come to the gate, or the door in the alleyway that you were instructed to go into, but oh no, you approach it and you pull the handle and the door is locked. You notice next to the door is a maglock card reader.
They didn't give us a...
It did not give you a maglock passkey. So
can someone hack this?
Even without hacking, you can do... So out of character, in case people didn't know, you can use like electronics to like old style by brute force through it, I believe.
Yeah, that's gonna be me.
Okay. So Polymath, I'm gonna have you. You said 8d6 is your dice pool for this.
Yes.
5, 6, 7, 8, and you need to roll it against the rating of the card reader. You're going to be pulling it apart and trying to get into it.
Mika, I bet this isn't what you expected to happen.
Now, while I'm doing this, would you like to roll, or would you like to have any edge added to this or anything?
I was actually gonna say, how much is it to make sixes explode?
Edge.
For edge.
That's cool. I've got 4 edge. Let's do it.
So it's more than just sixes explode. You also add your edge stat
Yes.
in dice to your roll.
Oh, cool. That's 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and throw that for you. And your sixes explode.
So explode just means you rolled them again?
Yes. So you got 5 hits. Okay.
So wait, what happens if you use sixes explode and you just keep rolling sixes?
They just keep
And
exploding.
It just keeps going. I have actually run into a situation with exploding sixes that ended up getting to. I think, what was it? I think the person just had insane luck and got like 32.
Oh my god.
Okay. So you pull the faceplate off of this maglock passkey, and you have to walk fast. There's a fire roaring behind you. There's a small army of gangers that you're just hoping don't look back at you while you're doing this. And you're just with a screwdriver and whatever else trying to bypass the wiring on this. They're very tense. Yeah, very tense situation to say the least. But you were going to fail this, but then your instincts kick in, your edge, because you tapped into your experience. You're able to calm yourself down, handle the stress, run the connections, and pop open the door.
Thank heavens. Use that edge.
I'll watch your back. Get to work.
Yep.
So you
Polymath moves in quick. We need to trying to get this done ASAP.
so you need to install the system. It will take 15 seconds per attempt. It has been roughly, I'd say bypassing everything probably took 15 seconds, so about 15 seconds have... so since you kicked the barrel down the alleyway, about 30 seconds have passed. Like, everything that's happening right now is happening really fast. So you need to roll me...
This is just amazing.
Oh, actually, there's no roll for this. It just takes 15 seconds to install the piece of equipment. Right, no.
That's what happens when you have instructions.
Yeah, you do have...
That's true.
Okay, so here's what happens. You run in. You immediately locate where behind the curtain you need to install the device, and you beeline over to it. You pop open the area behind the curtains that you need to install it, and you pull out the object, and you look at it, and you go to set it up, and there is unfortunately a problem. Blackstone, as nice of a lady as she was, gave you the incorrect instructions.
Oh no!
You are going to need to make me an extended electronics plus logic check. Each attempt is going to take you 10 seconds. So I'm going to roll that for you.
Yeah, that's 8d6.
8d6. You have the hardware specialization, so you get 2 more dice for this. You get 10d6.
No, the 8d6 is including the specialization.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
No, I wanted to make it clear. I don't want to. I don't want to cheat.
No, I appreciate it. So we're gonna see how long this is going to take you. 1, 2.
So what's Hawkburn doing during all this?
Ooh, I see a lot of dragons.
So it takes you a little under a minute to go ahead and get it set up, even with the incorrect instructions. You locate her mistake fairly quickly. You understand what she misunderstood, and you pop it in. And just as you pop the faceplate back on it, that's when you hear it. Sirens. The response time here is approximately a minute, and that's about how much time has passed. The fire department, no doubt with Lone Star in tow, is on its way.
Well, let us get the fuck out of here.
We need to get out of here fast, and we need to make it look like we aren't the ones that caused the fire. Even though we did.
Now, at this point, because about a minute have passed, they're no longer obsessed with the fire, so if you want to sneak out without the gang noticing, you're going to need to give me a stealth roll.
Stealth.
I'm not trained in
Oh,
stealth.
I actually have 1 in stealth. Stealth and agility, so 4.
I believe I'm rolling a 5 since I'm no stealth, so that's agility, my 6 minus 1.
2, 5.
They're all 1s!
Wait, what'd you get?
I rolled 4 dice and got 4 1s.
That is a critical failure.
Critical glitch.
Okay, so here's what happens. Polymath begins sneaking out, and you follow after her, Slim. You're going on after her. You're a little bit nervous. This is, as far as I can tell, this is one of, if not your foreshadowing, and everything everything's a little bit chaotic right now. You pull around the door, and as you see a small army of gangers and a giant fire, you can't help but explain, what the fuck? Out! It takes you a moment before you realize that you said that out loud and very loudly. As you do this...
Honestly, that is something I would do. So, what the fuck?
Holy Drek, what the fuck? Whatever lingo you want to use, every single gang member turns around to look at you. And they stare at you. And you stare at them. And there's just a long, awkward moment.
And I looked at him.
Is there a way I can, like, sneak into the astral to get out?
But I think as you exchange glances with them, a non-verbal communication happens. The world of Drek has collapsed around you, and you all, without saying a word, mutually agree that leaving is probably preferable to staying. They run down another alleyway, and you ditch down the alleyway behind Polymath.
A mutual agreement of we need to get the fuck out of here.
And they also run away. And you can see the sirens in the distance. The Lone Star and the fire department that is actually also owned by Lone Star. It's like the Ares Power Store or something. They are all driving towards you guys very quickly. So I imagine the plan is likely to get to the vehicle and leave.
Probably.
Yeah, 100%.
You do that. That happens. Polymath, I assume you're behind the wheel. How would you like to initiate driving away from this situation?
I'm debating of whether it would be less suspicious if we drove at a reasonable pace, but also if they have already decided we're to blame for this thing, as Lone Stars want to do a lot of the time, that is not going to be very optimal.
We need to get out of here and not get spotted.
So are you going with the leave fast method of driving?
I think we are going to go with the leave fast, and if they pull us over, we're just going to say, hey, there was a
We
fire
saw a
there.
fire. We got out of here.
All right. In order to at haste maneuver away, this is a pedestrian area, so we're going to need to make a driving test. That's going to be your piloting, groundcraft, plus your reaction, 4 plus 5 plus 2, 11d6.
Also, I didn't remember it last time we played, but I remember it this time that I have Gearhead, which also gives me a +1 when it comes to speed-related things and driving.
Nice. Oh, we will do that.
I doubt, like, increased attribute or increased reflexes would help with this.
Yeah, increased reflexes does increase reaction.
Then I'll just use that on them to try and help.
Roll me your spellcasting plus or your sorcery spellcasting plus your magic.
So
Also,
14.
I will be right back.
Okay.
10, 11, 12.
Are you using increased attribute or increased reflexes? Both would help here.
I think he was specifically asking about the attribute one.
Okay.
Either one, whichever would help more. I got the dice on the goddamn ready plate. So I don't know which would help more with this.
They'd both help equally, but you're gonna have less drain out of attribute.
Yeah, so do attribute then.
Yeah, I'll use attribute.
Yeah, I'm back.
1, 2, 3, 4.
5, there's one over there.
Okay. So you can choose to give her as many of those as you want, up to 4, but it is a higher drain the more you decide to give her.
Well,
So-
seeing as we're in a hurry, I'm just gonna give all into max and give 4.
Alright, you need to resist, I believe, in this situation. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at your sheet.
Oh, I thought I needed to switch.
The drain, increase attribute. You roll 11. It is 3 plus. The drain value is going to be 3 plus the amount of points you're awarded, so 3 plus 4. So you need to resist 7 drain.
So I roll 7 and
You
resist.
roll 11 and you reduce from the 7 for every success. This is a big drain, but this is a powerful. Oh.
Well, I got 1 hit, so.
Woo! You take 6 stun. You're
Oh.
a little bit panicked, and you slap Polymath on the shoulder, squeeze her real hard, and give her increased attribute. And you don't really prepare yourself for the exhaustion you do. You wear yourself out.
Stop thinking. Just get us out of here.
Yeah. So you do add 4 more dice for her to use, though. So 1, 3, 4, because that is the maximum that increased attribute can give. Known as the augmented maximum.
Run into trouble at the club.
That's 5 hits.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. The on-road check on that vehicle, I believe, is 5. So actually, thanks to the increased attribute, you do make it.
Thank God.
You make a difficult and speedy maneuver that pulls you down through the alleyway, and you disappear before the star even arrives.
I don't feel so good.
So we're gonna skip ahead a bit. I'm assuming you're gonna drive towards the club. So it's been, as you approach the club, it's been about an hour. So Harebuck, your rendezvous with your new friends is coming to a close. All of them are passed out on various couches. You don't remember where the couches came from and how they got in the back of your truck, but there they are, and with gangers passed out on top of them.
Convenient.
Would you like to rejoin the group?
Yes. How I'm gonna do that with gangers sleeping in couches in my truck, I don't know.
Now, of course, the couches are slightly bigger than the bed of your truck, so they're like kind of propped up on the gate a little bit. It's they're not in there well. Let's put it that way.
Just dump them in the harbor.
Well, they're past. I'm not a murderer. They're past.
Hey, you didn't kill him.
Should be fairly easy. He kind of just, he takes out some bungee cords and lashes them to the supports of the couches. Then gets in and slowly drives off. And with the bungee cords are connected partly to the couches and partly to an object on the pier, so they'll just slide out of the back as he pulls away.
The couches slide out of the back of your truck with a thump. You honestly don't know how 14 gangers fit on 2 couches, but sometimes you just don't question things as you leave your friends behind. And you and everybody else begin to make your way to Underworld 93. We are at the 3-hour mark. You know what that means? That means it is our last break of the night. We will take a 10-minute break, so be back at XX25 if you wouldn't mind, and we will work on finishing up the game. I hope everybody is having fun so far.
This has been a
We
great
just burned
session.
down a neighborhood.
That whole scene had me running
Having a
pretty high.
blast.
There's something
Also,
funny to me.
I want to clarify, I meant to dump the couches in the harbor.
I like to imagine Harebuck standing on the harbor and you've got like evil devil Harebuck on one shoulder and angel Harebuck on the other. Dumping the couches or dump the couches with the gang.
Okay, so that fire went out of control, but that was awesome.
So there,
I'm vaguely worried that the people who are supposed to get the hardware are gonna burn.
because I did really want to help you guys avoid combat there, because since Ace couldn't make it and Ace is your best fighter and the only other fighter we have here is completely new, I was a little bit concerned.
Hey, I've done D&D. I know how battles work.
No, I trust that you would do very well under the circumstance, but you were down a player and then down a couple of players didn't show
I
up.
was worried about the numbers more than anything. Like,
Yeah.
My
Well-
character should be able to do some combat,
Well,
but again, more of a support thing, even that.
the good news is it is grunt groups, so it wouldn't have been like as if you were actually fighting a dozen people. Yeah, it would have been like you were fighting 2 sets.
I've just not done enough combats in this game to really get a feel for what I'm capable of.
Oh
So
yeah,
what exactly caused the fire to decide to become chaotic?
because you got like 9 hits, and I was like, oh.
Oh, we did too well.
Well, you have to bear in mind, like, the Flame Strike is no subtle spell, and on top of that, if I'm using Hellblast, that's a literal explosion of, like, fire and corrosive malfeasance.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
Fair
gonna
enough.
go on my break. I will be back in about 10 minutes. I encourage everybody, like always, please don't just sit at your computer. Get up, stretch, get a drink. It's way healthier than just sitting there. I will see y'all in 10 minutes. Bop, bop. Pull up my notes. I have to scroll up because you guys are doing the 3rd scene last. Yeah, y'all drove me all over the place. Okay. Nope.
We're doing the first scene last, and we did the 3rd scene first.
You definitely went all around in order, but that's the most fun way to win. All right.
Oh, he said notes, guys. That's 4.
Shots.
Shots.
If anyone has been keeping track, is 4 the right number, or am I one behind?
Oh, I think you're like several behind.
Oh no.
I feel like I'm being bullied right now.
I'll just add like 4 or 5 of it. There you go.
You're not being bullied. We're just alcoholics.
We'll say we're at 9 shots, so everybody take 5 shots.
Oh no. My whole table's gonna be wasted. I guess
don't
that's
drink.
this. I drink once a year. But let us get on about it. We are going. You guys are going to Underworld 93. All right. So your passes get you straight past the bouncers, through it, but not past the metal detectors. It's time to turn in your toys. The lighter gets a quick check, but they let you in with a stern warning not to start any fires.
Wait, I don't even have any toys.
Inside, you wait at the bar until you see a very distinctive painted frill walk through the crowd. The frilled lizard man spots you a second later and walks over with a big grin on his face. Ah, there you are. I was told you got something for me that I'll gladly accept, as long as you accept some drinks from me, friend. And if anybody were... Sorry, I was going to say, if you take a look here, I do have a token for him, so you can see what your lizardy friend looks like.
He looks like an Argonian.
Yeah. And as always, for people who are new to Tabletop Sim, if you hover over something and hit Alt, it will bring the image up larger on your screen.
I really like how each fin is like a different color.
It's supposed to be a multicolored mohawk, but a frill.
Oh, kind of like your hair?
Yeah. We had prod going on.
Is he offering us skooma?
No, he's just regular alcohol this time.
Screw it, I'll take the alcohol. I need to catch up on the notes.
So you accept his alcohol, and he buys everybody a round of drinks or whatever it is that you would like to drink. And the delivery is the easiest of the 3. He just, assuming that you want to hand it over, you can just hand over the lighter.
1 second.
I don't see why not. At this point.
Well, yeah. As much as Scorch would make me be paranoid, I ain't the one with the lighter.
At this point, we're basically complicit to what's going on, so...
Who has the lighter? I had it, then I passed it to
Yeah, Polymath was the last person
Yeah, I
to
think I saw
interact
it.
with it, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
I
just
think it's
hand it
done.
over.
You pass the ladder over to Simon Andrews, and he happily takes it. Yeah. And he sits down with y'all to have a drink. And he just talks. He hangs out. He's the easiest delivery. He just wants to have a beer and a conversation with you. And since you're Shadowrunners, he's got no problem talking about work. He says, look, we all know that time the Secretary of State's vote got hacked regarding the Free Seattle event, even if it was so beautifully disguised as political language. Whoever did that, brilliant cover-up. Anyway, fake vote aside, Free Seattle is here to stay, it looks like. I'm just here to remind people that there is more than one great dragon that matters, you know? Can't let the Sea Sorbent get all the fun. Speaking of fun, any of y'all feel like hanging out tonight?
We had enough hanging out. We need to go turn in.
As he asks that though, his eyes slit, and he gives you perhaps a hornier look than you might have expected. The implication of hanging out is that you would hang out sans clothes.
Oh,
As much as you want to see this tall 8'2" troll without clothes, we have to go get paid.
He gives you a disappointed look, and he's like, "It's really a shame. It's been a while since I've had a whole team of runners at once. But y'all have a good evening." On the clock, I understand.
Maybe next time when I ain't busy.
Harebuck is glaring daggers at his teammate, but is arguing.
Don't worry, Herb. Don't worry. We'll come back when we ain't busy.
He throws Harebuck a special wink.
Polymath just buttons up her jacket.
Hey, Slim ain't against it. He just needs the money to survive.
He lets everybody off with a disappointed sigh that he'll have a little bit less fun tonight. And y'all have completed all 3 of the deliveries. As you leave Underworld 93, your comlinks instantly buzz, and Pound is the caller. As you pick up, he's quick to speak. Thank you very much for your service. I'll be sure to remember it, and I will inform my associates of your skills. I am sending over your cred sticks at once.
From one pound town to the other.
And that leaves you...
Thank you kindly. We do appreciate the prompt payment.
Just make sure not to send it to the wrong place.
But
And he disconnects the call, and a moment later, y'all get your creds. They bounce into your account. 2,500 each.
Now we just need to talk to our other contact. I already forgot her name.
Brynne Taggart. You give Brynne Taggart a call. And the question is how much. Why don't who's going to be calling Brynne? Who's going to do the talking?
I vote Harebuck.
I vote the buck.
the buck is the charisma.
I mean, yeah, I don't have any charisma.
You called Harebuck, I assume, then calls Brynne, and you set up a meeting. Now, other than go through the whole meeting, what I'd like to ask you, Harebuck, is what information you share with her. Tell me what you believe you've put together about everything.
The first of all, Harebuck structures the information in the following ways. The first part of it is how the run went and what they did. In summary detail, not exactly, going too in-depth on the particulars, but summary detail of the events that happened. Part 2 is information acquired as her contract, which is the nature of the 3 items as we understood them, basically what we discovered they do. And, per the contract. And 3 is pure hypotheticals. It appears to be some sort of massive ad sabotage or ad blitz effort. But that's pure hypothetical because that could just be the obvious application.
Okay, so it sounds like the first thing you share is the details of the various deliveries, the work you did. The next thing you share is I'm sorry, I might have missed it. Did you give her details about what you learned about the lighter being the some kind of receiver?
Yes, we were contracted to share that info, so Harebuck shares it. He wants to get paid.
Alright, you tell her about the lighter. You tell her what you learned about the car. I definitely heard you mention the AR bomb that's in the vehicle. And
the repeater.
And you get details on the repeater. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of information. Yep. She clasps her hands together and says, "Excellent work. This will definitely serve me well. As promised, if you'd like your part of your payment in gear, I'll throw a little bit on top for you."
I believe that's up to each member of the team. I personally will happily take my payout in gear.
And Nguyen, you said?
I think you said in gear.
Oh, in gear. Okay, just one moment. Let me see exactly how much she... You had negotiated for 3,000. Sorry, just a moment.
This tablet is edible. That's the first line in my notes.
I'm just figuring out... Basically, the game is done. I'm just figuring out your rewards, especially for gear and whatnot, because I'm not sure what the actual bonus is in terms of how much more she pays you if you take the gear. So we're gonna do the karma first, and then I'll get onto the gear. First, you did deliver the course. You delivered the ladder successfully. That's 1 karma. You delivered the AmeriCar. Sorry.
I can't add it to my character, so.
I'll be putting this all in the Discord once we're done. So 1 for the lighter, 1 for the AmeriCar, 1 for the repeater, 2 karma for surviving the adventure, and an additional karma for the overall challenge. So everybody should get 3, 4, 5, 6 karma. As for payment, you all did make 2,500 new yen from pounds. And those of you who are taking the new yen should get the payout in the end here is different than what's explained in the module. That's what I'm kind of running into a problem here.
Well, I wrote down that Mr. Pounding was gonna give us 2,500, and we negotiated for 3K from the other payments, so that should be 5,500 if we take the new yen.
Yes, 5,500 taking new. So it's 2,500 from pounds. 3,000 is what you negotiated from Brynne. And if you want to take the equipment, I guess because it doesn't exactly say what the exchange is, so I'm going to say she would probably give you basically the equivalent of a bonus 500 for her. So you could get up to, we'll say 3,500 new yen worth of gear. But you'll need to decide the gear quickly. Not quickly, but just send me a message on Discord once you've decided what you want to buy, and I will add that to the adventure sheet I've got here. that's not everything. We're done. We're not done just yet. So we got the karma. We have payment. And again, I'll be putting this all in Discord. If you're not keeping up with it, don't worry about it. For reputation, you so you get. It doesn't look like you get any bonus reputation. This was kind of an easy one, but you do get. Got to make a heat roll. So how heat works for new players? I am going to roll 2d6. If we get higher than 9, Yourself, thank you so much for the sub.
So if we get higher than 9?
If you get higher than 9, you get a point of heat. If you get higher than 12, you get 2 points of heat. And you have a heat modifier of +1 because you left evidence behind at one of the locations. Namely, you started
I don't know it's us.
Namely, you started a huge fire. So you guys get no heat since you rolled low.
You killed her.
Oh, did I roll? So no heat. That is it.
What heat? No one knows we did the fire.
Well, technically, there was a lot of heat involved in that.
No. You're making stuff up.
Alright, and now you get favor points. Favor points let you either get favors from or increase the loyalty from contacts. Everybody gains 1 favor point with Brynne Taggart, and it says if you did share.
You gonna read it?
I'm reading it right now. I'm just you guys were right at it. But unfortunately, yeah, you get 1 favor point from Brynne Taggart. There was an additional one for 6 information, and you were just short of it. That's the reason I was thinking. But I should stick to the module as written. For Blackstone, you gain 1 favor point with Blackstone for talking with her about her job, and you get her contact information. Blackstone was the technician you met. Don't hold giving y'all the wrong instructions too much against her. That was the pushing the edge option to increase the difficulty. It's more the GM than Horse doing. And Mr. Lowry, since Harebuck soothed him and then had a conversation with him, you'll gain 1 favor point from Mr. Lowry the mechanic.
How many favor points do we get from the horny lizard?
The horny lizard, by the time y'all return to the club later that night, unfortunately he is already gone. Absconded to somebody else's bedroom.
Damn it. I just got on top too.
So let me type that up into the Discord here.
Stacking things in TTS is way too easy.
3,500 Nguyen from pounds. 3,000 Nguyen from Brynne, or 3,500 Nguyen worth of equipment. You gain 6 karma, no heat, and no reputation, and you gain 1 favor point with Lowry mechanic. Connection 1. 1 favor point with Blackstone. Technician. Connection 1. And 1 FP with Brynne Taggart. Fixer. Connection. To be honest, part of the reason I was tempted to give you the extra reputation is with this team comp, there's some of the information you missed is information you couldn't get because you don't have a decker.
Yeah, our decker was.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. It's fun. But after looking at it, there was another piece of information you could have gotten without a decker. That you didn't pursue, so I think ultimately fair. But you guys did get. I think you guys accomplished 95% of everything you could do.
Oh, so we did pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm guessing one of the last percent was actually going into bed.
No.
I
No.
was going to assume it was tailing pounds.
Yes. You
Yeah,
could
sure,
have.
You really want his tail.
I was tempted to throw an insect drone after him, but I decided not to.
If you had tailed pounds, you could have seen. I'll say more details about the mission. Obviously, I don't want to tell you what you would have seen, but you're good for now. That's basically all you missed. You did the mission above and beyond what I think some groups would do. My concern running this is that this is the kind of mission that is really easy to just to do everything you're told, and there's no bonus karma for banging Simon. Why not?
That there should be a free contact for at least saying we would go back.
Look, the problem is Simon just doesn't call in the morning.
Yeah.
He's a one-night stand.
I think they probably didn't want to give Simon out as a contact because he's been a contact in like 2 other seasons. He can't be a contact every season, probably. But yeah, I hope everybody had fun. That is the end of our session.